Welcome to another episode of the UK Karate Podcast. This evening we have on Sensei Rachel Kattawar. I do apologise if I've not said it right. I did try just beforehand. I do apologise. How are you doing, Sensei? You well?
I'm well. It's good to see you guys.
Thank you so much for agreeing to be on. And the time difference at the minute, I think it was like 5-6 hours, something like that.
Yes.
So just wanted to say we usually starting from right from the beginning. Sort of, how did your karate journey start for you?
Oh wow. Okay. My parents are the instructors that I've had my whole entire life. They started their dojo in 1967. We're JKA to the core. Mm-hmm. They are Sensei Mikami's first satellite dojo outside of his home dojo in New Orleans. So their dojo was the first one. And obviously I came many years later. And on my 5th birthday, that was the age that my mom taught the beginners, and she would allow students to start. Even me, there was no nepotism. In fact, they were harder on me than anybody else.
Parents always are, aren't they?
They always are. Well, most times. And so on my 5th birthday, I jumped out on the floor and I said, okay, I'm ready. It's my turn. I want to start. And I made it until age 14. And that's when I quit and took a different path.
Yeah, but like from 5 to 14, though, like dedicated, that's some time. But what were your parents like as instructors though? Did they, were they pretty tough?
Very intense, very intense. My mom taught the first 3 ranks up through your first 3 tests, and then you graduated if you made it that far and made it through her strenuous classes. My father taught the advanced classes on up. We trained on a basketball court inside of a YMCA. And that court had, it's called parquet. It's like,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's so, it eats your feet. It's very uncomfortable. It's very rough. He would shut all the doors. If it was hot outside, he turned the air conditioner and the fans off. I'm sure you trained the same way. I think it's our generation, right?
So I can remember my father's dojo with the community. So it was a leisure center, community center that we used. But if the main hall was pre-booked, we had to go up into this viewing gallery, and the floor in there was like horsehair tiles. Oh my God!
Yes.
Like the blisters and the burning on the feet. Oh, you soon knew you weren't moving right because you were just getting your feet ripped off. But yeah, on a parquet floor, on the parquet floor, and that must have been rough.
It was very rough. It was, and then of course you had the elements too. If it was hot, it was hot. If it was cold, it was cold. Freezing. And we actually had in 1994 we had our annual winter training camp, and we had Sensei Mikami come in to teach it. And the day he got there, an ice storm hit, and it shut down the whole town.
Oh my God.
There was no electricity. There was no water. The roads were completely closed, but we had already been at the YMCA at that time when it kind of hit, when the worst of it hit. So everybody who traveled in spent the night at the YMCA.
Oh, proper training. There we go. Proper training.
Yep. And so we made it home. We only lived a mile away, so we, very carefully made it home. But we trained that whole weekend inside that freezing cold gym with the elements, and it's the most memorable camp I've ever had.
But something like that, and then it stays with you for forever.
Forever.
But so when you were saying your dad would shut the doors, it was hot. So in the summer it was hot. Back when you started training, I can remember if you wanted, water breaks just didn't exist back then. If it was 2-3 hours training, it was like you literally had to just fake needing to go to the loo just so you could use the to get a drink.
That's right. It was very structured, and even the parents that came to watch, they understood, and they did not mess with the system.
No.
So if the kids were late coming into class, 10 push-ups when you walk in the door. the parents would have to do push-ups too, because you're responsible for getting that kid there. It's not the kid's
I
fault.
love that. I love
And
that.
so it was a community. It was a group effort, and the parents loved how he loved and cherished each child. It wasn't overboard like it sounds like. It was really building character. And to this day, people still tell me, if it wasn't for your dad, I probably would have ended up on the streets, or would have ended up, committing crimes, or in whatever different direction it was.
It's amazing. It's amazing at like what instructors like do actually mean to this. Maybe not every student, so but much. Like most likely a majority. I remember like my father saying that he got a message on Facebook. I mean, he's not been teaching or really sort of training for some time now, but someone contacted him on Facebook and just said, "Oh, are you Steve Walsh, who used to teach here?" And he's like, "Yes, I am." And he says, "Oh, I just want to thank you for basically training me and the life lessons that I learned along the way." So you don't realize what what you actually mean to people, right?
Right.
Right. But we've had like guests on over here that have said like obviously sort of like back in the day when they started training that they do like lots of like mad crazy exercises and things. We used to have ones where everybody would lay down on the floor like lengthways, and everyone you would have to take it in turns to run across their stomachs. Did you do that? Or did you do that one as well?
Run across the stomach.
Yeah.
No. We didn't run across the stomachs. What we would have to do is, if we were working, again, this is, very old school. If we were working flying side kicks, we would line the people up the other way, not long ways, but the other way. And we would have to run and jump over 4, 5, 6 people to do the flying sidekicks. And so now, obviously, now you can't do that. The legality of it, they would have a field day with it.
The good old days.
Right? But it gave you enough of like that adrenaline rush that like, I can't kill my friend. So let me make sure that I make it over everybody. So we did things like that. We did, Dad was very inventive too, because it wasn't just about competitions and training karate, and it was more about like self-defense too. And what do you do in this situation? And do you even know how to fall? Do you even know how to take a hit? And so we would do like jumping off tables and learning how to dive roll correctly without mats. You're just doing
and
this
just like and just like break fall. Like, it's amazing. Like a lot of people just don't know how to to break fall, do they?
Exactly. So yeah, it was fun. It wasn't like the circus where you're actually learning flips. You're learning life lessons on, okay, somebody hits you or you need to jump out of the way for something. How do you jump out of the way and not hurt yourself worse?
Do you think that's like, obviously when the kids first start and everything? I mean, sometimes I say it till I'm blue in the face when I'm teaching about like, you're trying to go on about these life lessons, like what they're going to be, what they're learning like while they're here. But I think a lot of the time it is just, over the head. And it isn't until like you get obviously quite a bit older, and then you're like, the life lessons in the dojo is just almost endless, really. Did you find that that you didn't realize about the life lessons till a bit later on?
For me personally, 1,000%. I wanted to get into karate because of my brother. He was quite a bit older than me, and he was second best in the whole world. He was in the newspaper every week. He was winning all of these, 6-foot trophies and traveling all over the world, And so to me, that was, I want to be like Jerry. I want to do what he's doing and follow in his footsteps. It was never about, can I protect myself? Am I learning discipline? Am I learning things that are going to be life lessons, like you said? Later, when I came back, what brought me back to it was seeing the value. Yeah. It was seeing the life lessons and understanding that karate truly is a lifelong, just like we're talking golf, it's a lifelong sport you can do forever. You can tweak it and make it fit your body, but it's for life.
Oh, yeah, 100%, 100%. Did you ever feel like you was in your brother's shadow at all or anything like that, you know, like coming up through?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 1,000%. That's why I quit. When I was 14, I was also in dance, I was in gymnastics, and I was in tennis. And then I make it to high school, and cheerleading was my world. I wanted to be a cheerleader and gymnastics, and I'd had enough. I was done with being in his shadow, to be honest, because he was at the height of his competition, and I wasn't even scratching the surface really. And so I kept telling my dad. I remember just being awful about it too. I hate karate. I hate it. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't. I think
we can all relate to that.
And probably about that age too, maybe, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
I'm pretty sure I did it the whole way through.
It's difficult. It's difficult because your parents are there. It's not
if your parents are the instructors, like that, you've got for yourself, like you got your brother, you've got your parents as the instructors, the same, like my father's mine, and his father was, again, an instructor as well. Like
we're speaking the same language.
We
absolutely, absolutely.
That's good. That's good.
But it was, so it was really just feeling that sort of pressure then that made you want to sort of like go, nah, I think I've had enough. I've had enough of this.
Oh yeah. There was no path for me at that moment in time. There was no path for me, and my parents raised Jerry and I both to be trailblazers of sorts. They told us that we could do whatever we wanted in this world. We were born for greatness, whether it was helping people or teaching people, whatever it was. And so we've both always had this idea of greatness, like go find your path. And I didn't have one there. And so I told my dad, I'm done. I want to quit. And so here, AAU is one of the competition organizations that's pretty big that we competed in. And he said, you win the Junior Olympics through AAU and you can quit.
Well,
so
that's, yeah.
So you know what I did? I trained my tail off, and I won the Junior Olympics and took that gi off and handed it over, and that was that.
But then again, just when you can look back, that's just part of the journey, because that took you to that point, and then these other things that you're involved, these other sports that you're involved with, just help craft you and bring you on that way. Did you, when you were training when you were younger, did you sort of prefer like the cat? If you some people like to do both, or certainly when they're younger they like to concentrate mainly on the kata or mainly on the kumite. Were you either? Did you prefer the kata or the kumite?
When I was younger, I preferred kumite.
Yeah,
that was my bag. I had that. Was very competitive, and you guys know the younger ages back then, the boys compete against the girls,
right? Yeah.
Until you reach 15, you were in the same divisions with the boys, and so there was a certain level of, it sounds terrible now, but there was a certain level of, I'm competing against the boys and I'm winning. That's that bravado, I guess. Felt good. And then I always did well in kata as well. It was hit or miss, because the guys could jump higher and they moved faster and stuff. And so it was kind of hit or miss. And then I got very close. When I was 14, they were wanting to move me up into the women's division. And that was another little piece to it too. It's like, now I'm going to be competing against my mom. And my mom.
Wow.
You're like, she was actually on the U.S. team before there were women on the U.S. team. She fought the men. She traveled with the men. She did that piece. And so I didn't want to compete against my mom. There was no path for me anywhere. Everywhere I looked, it was like, there's Jerry, there's mom, there's dad. So
on that note, though, have you ever had to spar like your mum, like in kumite at all? Like,
no,
never.
Thank God. Nope, thank God. No, I quit before before I got into that adult realm.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, she had already retired from competition.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank God.
I mean, like,
What
like,
do you do?
Yeah.
Have y'all ever had to fight with your fathers?
I've had to spar my father twice, not in competition. It was during training. I was just like, I do not want to spar like my father. Like, there's just something wrong on that and the whole level with that. But like, my dad just looked at me and was like, well, I'm going to spar you. I was just
Wow.
so I was like, okay, it's on. Like, you know,
Game on.
I think it's one apiece. I think so. If he watches this, it's one apiece. So, you know, like if he wants to get the gi back on, like, you know,
It's calling it out.
Great.
I can't recall. I might get into trouble for this. I can't recall. I think we have once, but it was quite sort of friendly. Didn't get too competitive.
No.
It might do now,
My dad wasn't friendly. I got his size 12s right around my ear, so that was. Do you know what? Like I was cocky and I thought I knew it all, and he gave me the biggest feint ever going, and I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. I dropped my guard down, and then all I saw was his big size 12 coming right at me, and it wrapped me right around the face.
Got you. Got you. Wow.
I was like, okay, well, there we go. There's Ippon straight out of here. That's good. Like,
yeah. No, yeah, and I get that. My mom would have humbled me very, very quickly, and I already knew the lesson. I didn't need to go through it. You know, you win, Mom. I promise.
Yeah, you can have it. You can take it.
Oh,
take
that's
it.
it.
Yeah, because over here, certainly for the guys, I'm pretty sure that I'm trying to think. Like back in the day, I'm sure there was a separate like females category. I don't think they were mixed, from what I remember. Maybe in some of the other associations or mixed competitions, but certainly from what I remember from like back in the day. Yeah, even like the guys. Once you were 16 though, that was you fighting the men. Yeah. Like you, right. Like and like I remember like going around like watching the competitions, like, and it was just you just see these poor like young 16-year-olds against fully grown adults. It was frightening. Right. It was like, I never wanted to do competition as a young guy. I was like, no, thank you. That was not.
You know,
me.
and maybe now that we're talking through this, maybe that's the exact reason why it's that age gap where everybody starts to quit karate and go a different direction. Maybe that's the key. Is like we need an extra division in there so that they're not having to go straight into the adult. World,
because again, everybody's development is different, right? So I mean, you get people that might get to, right. I don't know, just thinking of some of the guys I've seen that would get to like 5 foot something, and then that's it, and then they're against guys that are like 6'3" like me, or even bigger than that, you know. That, I mean,
6'3", oh wow,
that's got to be, it's just got to be. Well, it's so daunting and scary for like for those people, and I can see like why I've known people that basically give up with the kumite and basically focus all their energy on kata, because obviously no danger of taking the size 12s to the face, like, so
it's not easy.
When I came back though, that's exactly what I did. I was 32 when I came back, so I sat out 17 years. And I didn't have a dojo. I was here in Memphis, Tennessee. My parents are here as well. They're my neighbors. And they weren't teaching anymore. Their dojo is about 3 hours south, and a student took it over. So it's still thriving and doing well.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But they were out of, but they were out of karate, and I was getting back in. And kata was easy to practice. You can do that in your living room. You can do it outside. You can do it at the gym, But you can't ever get the timing. You can't get reactionary attacks. You can't without somebody there, without being in a class, And so when I came back, a lot of people were still there. They're like, well, wait a minute now. You're the fighting girl. You're the kumite girl. Why are you just doing kata? And I said, well, I don't have anybody to train with. Now, after being back for 12, 13 years, I kind of feel like the division is here now. The adult division is 18 and up. And I see these 18-year-old girls who are animals. Not that they don't have control, but they can, they're super athletic. And I don't feel like I have that same like get in, get out kind of ability like they do. And so I was like, I'm good with kata. I like the kata.
It's changed. And I think when you've had like that when you've had quite a bit of time off like that, and then trying to go trying to get into the competition, it is difficult. And the way people move, the way people are fighting now as well is quite different to the way the way it used to be. And then obviously some people are like more sport karate movement orientated as well. It's well, actually on that, how do you feel about the sport karate?
I'm all about it. I love that people love karate enough to turn it into a sport and turn it into all of these competitions. And they're able to make a living now because they have 100 students that are doing wild and crazy things, and you could travel with them and it's good for the kids. I'm all about that. But you cannot confuse competition karate with karate.
Yeah.
It's two very different animals. And you don't see Budo, you don't see the spirit of karate at those types of competitions. You still see kids with bad attitudes. You see them
again, while we're on, while we're doing that, because this is like,
here we go.
I'm gonna get.
We're gonna go deep.
It might be like I'll be wagging the finger. I'm gonna wag the finger now because it is the one thing that like just makes me boil is like at the competitions that again. The what you can get obviously with the rudeness and the questioning the judges and maybe even like other sensei or their own sensei and basically just having a full-blown tantrum basically, like I look at that and it's like, no, I don't know what you're doing, but that's not karate. Like that's not what we get taught from coming in the dojo and bowing and basically just the respect and the ritual of like everything that we do in karate.
What it means.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's like it's lost.
Yes.
So you obviously see a fair bit of that in the States as well, then.
Oh yes. When it comes, it overflows from the other sports. Parents our age. I don't know how old you guys are, but parents my age with teenage kids. We range in, you either grew up with instructors like our parents and you learned this is how it's done, or you were the one receiving the participation trophy.
Yeah.
And if you were the one receiving the participation trophy, then you kind of coddle your kid and you're like, oh, you're sweating too much, or, oh, go do your best. Well, you're not teaching them life things, And so you can see that throughout the sports in the USA. Yeah. Unfortunately, especially in karate on the mats. I told my son, because he trained, he just a complete natural when it comes to karate. He had the body shape, he had the mindset, he had everything except for the heart. He didn't love it, which I get. We all get.
That can cut. I could totally relate to your son there because it didn't happen. That didn't happen for me till probably in my like mid to late 20s. Where it was like, right, that's it. It just changed, like say it could.
It's changed.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll come back, but in his training in the meantime, I did start a dojo in 2012, I think it was, and I did keep it all the way up until COVID, and then COVID I shut everything down, and I had a really strong group of kids that when I would take them to competitions, I'd let them know very quickly. You're representing you're representing your family, you're representing your lineage, you're representing me, you're representing the dojo. When you step on that mat, you make sure that you understand this is not about you. This is about everybody else that's brought you to this point that you're representing. you know, and so kids kind of they think differently then. Oh, it's not just about me. I have to go win. I'm doing this for everybody else too.
Yeah.
And I have had to pull, and I will in a heartbeat. I've had to pull kids off the mat when they throw their hands up at the ref, like, oh, or, you know, I scored that point. Nope, you're done. Bow out, you're done.
I've be like laser eyes coming. It'd be like laser eyes for me. Just you know, that parent death stare. Where you're just like looking at them. You know,
that's right. It's 100 push-ups when you get back.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's the one thing sort of like from the sport side, but not necessarily. Again, maybe it's just because when I'm looking at YouTube or I don't know Instagram, and the algorithm is feeding me like the things that it knows is going to annoy me, like it's, just like seeing like even if someone scores like a Wazari or an Ippon, whatever it may be, you know, like the hands in the air and the celebrating and the whooping and the hollering going on, and I'm just like, no, like where's the respect for your opponent? You know, respect your opponent and yourself, like, you know, like just I'm probably just more of a traditionalist like that, but it's where everything's changing. Hopefully, like it doesn't get too bad with that type of thing. I think a lot of instructors are pretty good at keeping a lid, you know, like on the students that way. But I was again thinking back to sort of like, you know, when you started and like looking at now, really, like how do you feel? Like the teaching methods have changed, you know, at all, like to do with like kids and adults, really.
Yeah. It makes me very sad. It makes me extremely sad. I think the reason why I have been successful when I came back was because of the way that my father taught. It was, like I mentioned, a basketball court, a full-length basketball court. And we would start with Gidan Badai. And we would go through every single basic down and back. So front punch, down and back. Ageuke, down and back. Every single technique before we even made it to kata, before we even made it to kumite.
Yeah.
And then we went through all of the heians. Then you would get to your tokui kata. And then if we had enough time, we would do, you know, 3-step, 5-step, or kumite. And so because he really hammered repetition and hammered those basics, you could pluck any of his old students out of the street today, and I promise you their technique will still be picture perfect. Not fast, not strong, but it will be picture perfect. Now, I personally don't feel like, now there are some instructors to the exception, of course. I don't feel like people focus in on that basic technique as much as it should be. I think there's way too much focus on speed, way too much focus on power. And now that the gis, you ducktail the back of them, people are even now keeping their hips out. Yeah. And so you can see when they
got the bum sticking out.
The bum is sticking out.
Doesn't look great, does it?
Kiberachi. Kiberachi, you can tell like the hips are out, but they have the trick where they pull the belts up, you know, roll it's high in the front. And so I think that the new students, I'm not gonna say kids, adults too, I think they're missing out on
that old school training.
The fundamentals of it. The second piece to that question is the parents have made it very difficult. The legal system here has made it difficult, and the parents lean on that where, you know, we used to get hit on the head with the stick.
Yeah.
You know,
we never had the shin either. We'd get swept. We just get swept off our feet if the stance wasn't right. If that front knee wasn't over that big toe, all my days, you would know.
You'll know it.
Absolutely.
And then also the back leg in front stance, just the basic stance. My dad, who was not a big man, he wasn't oversized by any means, but still he was a grown man, would come down the line and stand on your back leg and make sure that back leg was strong. We all know these tactics. Try to do that to a kid today and see what happens.
No.
You know, and so it's sad because that's how you build character. And what are the, not to mention when the kids are 20 years down the road doing a podcast, what are they going to talk about?
Yeah.
They're
Exactly.
good stories,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, well, training, it was pretty easy, to be honest. Yeah, they weren't really, I didn't really find it that hard. We had regular water breaks, and they were very friendly.
It was all nice and
I
icy.
know.
Like,
Maybe they'll complain about not having matching water bottles.
Yeah.
I don't
Maybe.
know. Who knows?
I mean, one of the grading examiners that we used to have at my father's club. I'm hoping to get him on this year. Sensei Bob Rose. He's going to be 80 this year, and like he was a scary dude, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I remember like he came and taught a course for us maybe a couple of years ago now, and he was like saying, "Oh, he says, what grade are you?" And I was like, "Well, I'm knee down. I've been thinking about going for my third down." And he's like, "Yeah, you've got to do it. You've got to do it." And I was like, "You're the reason why I don't want to grade anymore." Like he was like scared me to death as a child, Like so it's But I mean, again, I look back now and I think I'm glad he was tough. I'm glad he was mean. Like it's what shapes you. But I think like now it does. My thing would be is that it has gotten a little bit soft for like for kids these days. I think there has to be more, like there's got to be more enticement for training and a bit more like reward. You're doing really good. Right. I don't ever remember receiving I mean, probably because I wasn't doing it right, most likely. But it was, you never got a compliment.
No.
What's
that?
I probably had like one compliment in karate like one time. I think the moon, stars, and everything must have aligned that day because like I do remember getting one. But it's just it's strange the way it has gone. I think because it's not.
So Dad would single me out. I have to tell this story. So when he sees this, he'll appreciate that. I remember everything, Dad. I do. I promise. He would single me out. Of course, he could because I was his kid. And it would be the end of class. I'm 9, 10 years old. Kids don't sweat that easily,
No.
And so he would call me out to the front of the class and he would say, "Nobody's leaving. Class is not over until Rachel sweats." And he would have us do like high knees, hands up, and we would do high knees. And here I am, I'm an athlete. So I'm just doing all these, and the older people are like dropping like flies and looking at me going, I'm like, "Just throw your sweat on me." This direction, throw your water, something. I don't know what to do. And so that was, you can't do those kind of things now, unfortunately, because look, it definitely shaped me in some way to not ever give up or to push past that point, And I don't know how you can do that with kids now.
No, it's challenging nowadays.
No, I mean, we try and work again, in a sense of like keeping things fun, I guess, a little bit. Like, I mean, I think they know if I'm ever like taking the class, we always like will finish with doing some core and ab work and things like that. And I'm like, look, I'm 43 years old. You guys should be able to be like, hands down, destroy me with like how good your abs and everything should be, but
right,
but they're like, no, we can't take, and that's just keeping it
soft.
The world has gone gone
the world's
soft.
gone mad.
But I mean, like as well. I mean, like that, like you said before, like when you were training, like even the parents having to do like press, making the parents do press ups and things like that. I mean, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I feel like even like the parents are a bit of it's going to sound bad, but it can be a bit of an issue as well now,
Yes.
And again, and I'm not saying that to like really like totally rag on the parents, but like it's. Like before, it's like if you're teaching a class and you're teaching to block like Sotyuke or Agyuke, and you're telling the kids and they're not listening, and you're like, "Look, guys, when we're doing like step sparring or whatever it may be, like if you're not paying attention, you're gonna get punched in the stomach or the face." And then I don't know, little Jessica gets punched in the stomach or little Freddie gets punched in the face. Next thing you know, the parents are coming in. "Oh, my child got punched." It's like, we're doing a martial art here.
What did you think was going to happen in karate?
Exactly. It's not tiddlywinks.
Do they say this to the boxing coach, like when they take a right hook or something? Like, I don't like.
Yeah, right,
it's,
right.
It's.
So here, I don't know if you guys have this where you are, but a lot of times the students will come in and they'll say, and the parents will say, I want to sign up for the black belt package.
Oh.
Tell me what the black belt package is. And they were like, well, down the street, the McDojo down the street says that if I pay $300, then you guarantee me a black belt in 2 years. You probably need to go back to that dojo. It's probably going to take you 4 or 5 years to get one here, and it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I mean, like 4 to 6 years here, I would say would be like, unless you've got an exceptional student that picks it up, like, but they are very few and far between, right? So
very few.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think I've ever had anyone come in and say about the black belt package, but like I'm very aware of obviously like the McDojo, or maybe they've been watching Master Ken on YouTube or something like that. I don't know.
Right. Right.
Have you seen Master Ken? Have you seen his the skits? I can highly recommend.
I'll put it on my list. Though.
Yeah. It is like a full blown, just like to the bone comedy about a McDojo. Basically, it is.
Oh,
it is
kind of like Karate Kid, I would assume.
Well, yeah, you got it. Like, yeah, I mean, it is. It's just about this sort of like narcissistic like instructor who's basically made up his own style of karate, and he's like his is the best, and he always says everything else is bullshit. Basically, that's like what he says.
And that's how it goes. It's amazing. Like the number of people that we've seen leave, and I'm sure you guys too, that go and start their own off the wall name, and they turn themselves into a master, and then they start testing their students to like the 12th and 13th degree, and it's like I get it when people say to me, oh yeah, I was speaking to this guy the other day, and he was he was a 12th dan and I was like, oh, 12. I was like, was he like what, like 90 years old or something like that, like maybe 100, and no, he's just like he's like 40 years old or something like that. I'm like, but then like you try and tell somebody that's not really in that world that like they're just obviously full of it, and right. They're just going to think you're hating on them. It's hard. It's difficult, right?
It is really difficult. Yeah.
Karate is a very different world than other sports, and it's very hard to compare it to when people ask questions. Well, what your organization, explain that in another, in another form of sports. Well, even sports don't have different brands and different organizations like we do, and so it's a very hard thing to explain. It's just different. It's not even styles. How would you guys say it? There's different.
Goodness, that's a good question.
Yeah, well, different. I mean, different styles or just different ethos. I don't know. Like,
ethos is a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Definitely a good one. Or like organizations, governing bodies.
Yeah, I mean, again, we were talking before. I mean, again, there's in the UK now, like how many karate associations, how many different offshoots. Like we're saying, it's just a shame. I always think it's such a shame that it's so fractured, like karate. Right. It really would be nice just to see more cohesion between everybody. So when you obviously when you decided to, I guess you earned your right to quit karate, like with your father. Did you like going through life doing all these other things? Actually, before that, what sort of grade did you get to before you decided to quit?
I was Shodan. I was Shodan. I got my black belt when I was 11, I think. I was 10 or 11. Because again, it was a long path from 5 years old up until then. In fact, they even failed me.
Yeah.
Sensei Makami and my dad failed me from purple to brown.
That's got to be harsh with your dad on there.
Yeah. Oh no, not for him. He was proving a point. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
because
Okay.
we had our whole little I had a little friend group. And everybody was coming before class and training and staying after and training, and I was already starting to, you know, drift away into la la land and so I wasn't putting that time in, and so it was a lesson. It was like,
Yeah, yeah.
just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're not going to get your brown belt. You have to put the work in. And being uh, our line was white belts up to purple belts, and then the second front row was brown and black belts. So the fact that my friends now got to line up on that front row and I'm behind
Oh,
them,
yeah. So I bet
that was
that
hell.
must have lit the fire there to say, I'm going to get this over the line.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And then you have to wait the time, of course,
Yeah.
before you can test again.
Did when you went for your Shodan, was your father and Sensei Mikami were they quite good in the sense that, you know, you could approach them and say, look, Sensei's like, what did I do wrong? What didn't you like? Or was it down to you to try and figure out like what you did wrong?
No, wow. There was
no feedback at all.
No notes. No notes. You learn that in class. If you put the time in and you put the sweat equity in I mean, because you know the tests are very simple. It's a basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably 3-step at that time, 3-step or 5-step, and then kata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right.
And so if you mess up, and that's one of the things that gets me now, how can you mess up on one of those 3 things on a test?
Yeah.
You're not prepared. You're just
they're
not
not prepared. I mean, not prepared. Again, it could be pressure, anxiety, anything like that. If you let it get the better of you, I've been there myself. Yeah. I felt like I was fully prepared and on one grading, got there, and like I'd done 3 days worth of training with the training camp, and then took the grade in, and like for some reason just literally let all the pressure and stress just like,
oh no,
you know, and sweating profuse, you know, just like sweating profusely. That is not me. And I'm like, you know, like Sensei Oto, when I was going for my sundown, was like, Chris, are you okay? And I was like, no. I was like, no, Sensei, I don't think I'm good. I'm not good. Like, you know, but again, you live and learn. Just like, don't try and, you got to work at that. Again, that's something to go away. I think at that level, you know what you've done wrong. You know, like you can go away. Right. The kid, maybe the kids like not so much. Sometimes I think they need like a little bit of guidance of like what they need to work on, because they maybe can't quite see. Again, as some kids, that was perfect. What are you talking about? You know, like
well, we also had, and I think this might be the difference too. We also had to where you weren't allowed to test until you were ready. So it wasn't like every 3 months you can test.
And that was Sensei telling you that you were ready. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so in that sense, he already saw that in you. He already knew that you had the ability to pass and you were there and you were ready. So if you got there, because he also, man, he and my mom, they're so amazing. They really are on like a whole other mental game than you can possibly imagine. They're so mentally strong.
Just mentally bulletproof.
It's beyond words. Yeah. And so that's what they try to teach in karate. And so when you mess up, or when you're ready for something and you get up there, mind like water, period. That's it.
Yeah.
And if you don't master that, then you'll fail a test. And so actually my Godon test that I just took this summer was with,
congratulations on that, by the way, as well.
Thank you so much. That test was actually with the new head of the JKA. And so
I remember seeing on social media now. Yeah.
Oh, so talk about pressure. You now have the president of the JKA sitting in front of you, along with a guest instructor from Japan, and then all of our heads, which are 7th Dan and up for the USA.
So no pressure then.
No pressure, none at all. And so that's where that mental game comes in, because you see everybody was there to test. Everybody was super excited and ready to test. But when the time came and the gym is quiet, the judges are at the table and they're about to call your name up, that's when that mind game has to come in, where you say, you know what? this is not new material.
No.
I've known this my whole entire life. I've known these basics. I've practiced this kata a million times. I know how to fight, because for Godon, that's the 3 things on the test.
Yeah.
And then they ask you a question, and they ask you like bunkai to something of your kata, or bunkai for some particular technique.
But that is a lot of pressure, though, isn't it? Now, like when they ask you to explain the bunkai, I think. I mean, like, yes, if you know the kata, you know, inside and out, you should obviously, again, you should be like prepared. But again, some people don't like speaking, or I've seen people who could who teach phenomenally, and then they get up there and they get asked a question, and they'll give their answer, and then one of the senseis will go, "Are you sure?" You know, and then they're like, like the mind's going like, "Oh no, I don't know," and then like, you know, they should have just been steadfast in their
that's right,
their answer, but they then basically second guess themselves, and you know, can mess it up.
Right. And you mess it up, you know, and that's where the head game comes in. And especially in karate, the whole point of karate, to me, the whole point of karate is, how good is your focus? How much can you control yourself? How much can you control your emotions, your adrenaline? That's the only way you can ever protect yourself and truly be able to do self-defense, is to be able to control yourself. If somebody comes and approaches you and you have to defend yourself, you cannot be, you know, naturally you're going to have some of that, but you have to control it. And so when it comes to a test, the mind game for me, the mind game to me is, I already know this. All I can do is go out there and show them what I've practiced. I hope they like it. I hope it meets their standards. If not, I'm going to do everything I know how to do. It doesn't matter what question they ask me. Karate is a block is a block, a kick is a kick, a strike is a strike. If you ask me about it, I'm going to tell you about it, and I'm going to be able to defend it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. You know. Yeah. But that's all it is. You know. And so, but it is amazing how many people do. I'm not saying I don't get nervous, but I control it. Yeah. But it is amazing how many people, when they get out there, they know these answers. And they
they're just just blank, either blank, it's nice. And as well, like the people don't see, like with the, again, obviously each association is different, but obviously for myself and Andy, but like obviously we said before the podcast that we'd been obviously JKA, and knowing that. Well, again, it must be the same I would imagine it's the same for most associations, but that when you're doing kumite for a grading, especially a dan grading, it's not like this. Like you'll get people in there and they're just trying to like point score basically, and it's like, no, dude, like we this is
take it down a notch.
Right. Let's this is not competition karate now. This is like we need to show them that we can attack and defend. Like like accordingly, and you'll just get like I've had it. I had some reckless guy just trying to take my head off, and it was just like like I think when we were like close and they call Yame, I'm like trying to almost whispering in his ear, just show that you can attack and defend. Like that's like
no sweeping,
stop trying to kill me. Like it's not about that. Like God.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing I just remember, like people not actually probably been told that much really about like the kumite side. That was almost really a given that you would just know that it is not, you know, point scoring. Right. It is about attack and defending. But yeah, you can just get that one person that doesn't cooperate and doesn't make you look very good. Or
nope.
But with your last grading, did you like on the kumite front? Was it just one time that you had to get up with the kumite, or did they make you do like a couple of times?
No, it was just the one time. I had to fight once. There were a lot of people testing, so I think it was a combination of
time.
You know, trying to trying to get through everybody, but also they let the fights go on quite a while without really calling Yame too much, just to see how, even after you scored, how you reacted.
You're getting in and getting out to protect yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, again, because I haven't had a dojo regularly that I can train in, I I did a practice test with one of my teammates, Kellen Lyman, who's absolutely amazing. She is feared by everybody in this country, and it's starting to get feared by everybody in the world because she is an excellent fighter.
It's nice to have a someone that you can train with like that, though, right?
Well, I trained with her once.
All right.
Oh,
I got to
okay.
do it once. And so I wanted more, but she lives 6 hours away. We had to do a practice test together, but she took it very, very easy on me. She's younger than me as well. And so we sparred and we did, and I felt like I did pretty well with her. And so that was just enough to give me enough confidence to say, okay, pull it out of your bag and go fight for the test and see what happens. And so I fought a really good peer of mine. She's an amazing fighter. That's her thing. And we had a respect. Yeah. We talked about it before. Hey, we're not going to sweep each other. We're not here to try to like bust noses, and let's honestly be respectful. You attack, I'm going to block. I'll attack, you block. Let's counter. Let's ki. Let's do all that and do a good show. And I think we did just that.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What was if you don't mind me asking, what was your chosen kata? Like, which kata did you choose to do for your grading?
Basadai.
Basadai.
Always.
Yeah.
Okay. Always. Yep. Basadai or Konkudai are always my two testing katas. For the same reason we talked about, I know it inside and out. You can't ask me one of those motions in Basadai and me not tell you about it, because I've done it for 30 years now. 40, almost 40. That's crazy. Almost 40 years.
Have you got a favorite kata that you sort of like, that you like to do?
Dojo Shosho has always been my kata since I came back. Dojo Shosho has been my kata, but this past year, it just got a little long and it got a little boring for me. So I've actually switched to Sochin.
Sochin.
That's good kata.
I really
like it.
I really like Sochin, but being 6'3", it is not very forgiving if you get it wrong. If you're not getting those stances right. And that's just the one thing I find is being a tall guy is the kata has always been a bit of a nemesis for me. Is just obviously you've got jite, which is could be quite a tall person's
Kankusho.
Yeah, Kankusho. I always tend to.
So, what is your favorite?
My favorite, my favorite would probably be like Sochin or Unsu, as in to see. I mean, I really like them. I like to try and give Unsu a go. I must look like Bambi on ice when I'm doing it.
We all do.
Everyone does, don't they?
You got great big arms and legs going everywhere. Yeah. But I really do like just going through like Sochin.
Yes, definitely.
But when I've generally graded, it's usually been Gion that I've done.
Great kata.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit bored of it, but I got talked round to sticking with it. So
it's a great testing kata. Great testing kata. Yeah.
And again, I think I've done it a few times now, so it's you know it, and it's. Yeah, I've got a love-hate relationship with it. Really, depends what day. Depends what day of the week it is.
Right.
I think for me, I did Basadai for Shodan, so for me, I've always got that little soft spot for Basadai. I do like Shoshin as well. I'm in negotiations with our assistant chief technical instructor. Simon, about because I've got mixed feelings. I'll be honest, I might get told off for saying this, but I've got mixed feelings about Gion. I don't think it's for me, but who am I to argue? I like Basadai. It's storming a fortress. That first move, you're like visually speaking,
it's just that one as well, like brown belt, brown and white. First cue. Like you're doing Basadai. So you do.
Yeah.
It's but like it's like the Heian katas, right? I bet like even the time that you had off, like from when you weren't training, I bet when you came back, I bet like as soon as you started doing the Heian katas, it was just like light bulb, bang, like got it straight away.
It's funny you say that. When I first came back, the first thing I did when I came back, I went to the winter training camp, my parents' winter training camp, and I put on that same gi. And it looked terrible. It was really embarrassing, but nonetheless.
I was going to say, a gi when you were 14 years old, it must have been a bit short, Sensei.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I grew fast and then stopped.
Yeah.
What looked terrible was that it had been in the attic.
Oh, it got that like little yellow tinge to it.
Oh, yeah.
Nice,
Nice.
There you go.
But I got out on that parquet floor and we did that camp for the weekend, and it completely tore everything up, feet, bruises and everything. But we didn't train kata that weekend. We only trained basics, which was cool. But the next weekend we had a tournament. It was the All South. It was a big tournament. And I said, well, I'm going to compete in the tournament. And my dad was like, oh, I don't think so. You're not ready. I said, that's okay. I'll remember Basadai. I'll just do Basadai and see what happens. Now, remember, this is the very first time I've ever competed in the women's division now, right?
Yeah.
Coming back at 32.
Yeah.
And so I practiced for a week Basadai, and he watched me. Got to the tournament, did it, and I tied for third. And I was like, well, this is great. Okay, fantastic. I got third place. No. You got to do a tiebreaker.
Oh,
the tiebreaker has to be a different kata.
Yeah.
And
no joint third.
You're up first.
No joint third. I did love it when they brought in joint third, because it was like, I don't really want to fight for third place,
Yeah.
And so they said, yeah, you got to do a different kata, and you're up. And so I got up there and I'm racking my brain, and I said, I know hand Shodan, but you can't do hand Shodan. It's the adult women black belt division. Do something, Rachel. And so the next kata that came out of my mouth was Teki Shodan.
Oh.
And I did Teki Shodan for a tiebreaker and lost horribly. I mean, shamelessly. Just threw that medal away. But yeah. So a lot of it, the techniques and the basics came back very, very fast, but the katas, I did have to work on those.
Is there a, like on the competition front, is there a loss that sort of sticks in your mind, one of those ones that really just sticks in your mind at all?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Are we able to talk about it? It's not too.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not too deep. Okay.
No. It was very good for me. It was very, very good for me. I started winning nationals in 2013 in the women's division, and I won all the way up until 23. And so, except for the year that we had COVID. Was it just a year or two or whatever? So anyway, for that 10-year span, that was mine. That was my division. That was my title, And I think I got a little too comfortable and complacent and didn't train and do like I should have. And so in 2023, we were in San Francisco, and there were other things that went into it too that I like to use as excuses, where they asked me to go judge, and I was in the middle of judging when they called our division. And so I literally ran from the ring straight over, changed into my...
That's pretty harsh.
Didn't warm up, but again, it is what, I use it as an excuse, but it's not. And so Team Kata is what I'm real big with right now, competing internationally.
I saw that you my next question was going to be like, what's the best win that you can can remember? And then so I think that's going to lead on. Is that to the Pan American? Yeah.
It'll lead into it. Yeah. So the girl that beat me in 23, we actually tied in the finals, and we had to go again, same kata. And she beat me by 1/10 of a point. And she is the right side of my team kata. So she's somebody that 20 years old at the time, I think she was, or 22 at the time. I had been training with her we've been doing team kata since she was 15. Like, she's my like my little sister and my little baby at the same time. And so I'm very happy for her. But at the same time, I'm pissed because what the hell just happened? I just like that, because I didn't put the time and energy into it. I just blew a 10-year stint, And then to make, insult to injury, to add to it, as soon as I walked off the mat and hugged her, they go, women's team kata. So I had to turn around and directly bow and walk in with her and do Team Kata. And we won.
What a mindset to go from that then, and the mindset. Wow.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, mixed emotions.
And I see, and you girls brought home the gold.
Yeah.
We did. Of course, we did. You know, when we step on that mat, everything else goes out the door. You don't worry about it.
I mean, Team Kata is just like something else. I mean, I've practiced it before and I've never done it in like competition.
Really?
But yeah,
okay.
just because my height and that, I've just always had a bit of a love-hate thing with kata. So like, it's always been the kumite for me. But I can, I appreciate watching. When I was younger, like. Oh, kata, I just had that. I was like, what's that all about? When I was a kid, that's just making shapes, isn't it? But and then obviously, you get older and wiser and get clued up a little bit, and and you can watch it now and just be in awe, be in awe of it, especially the team kata when the three people are moving in sync together. I mean,
it's so fun.
When I was with the JKA, when I was on the JKA England squad, the female team, kumite team and team kata team at the time, they, I can't remember whether I think in the kumite.
Was that Royson?
Roisin. Roisin Campbell. Roisin and Diana and Rachel. Yeah, I mean.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Talk about Sochin.
Yeah, right. I mean, like for her to come third in the All Japan's like incredible. And seeing the dedication of the girls when they were going through, like not just kumite, but when they were going through the team kata, just going through that rigorous, and then they would just know that one of the other ones was off. Let's take it back. Let's go through that again. Just seeing that motivation, and again, you must know, it is just a different mindset, isn't it, to have to do that.
It is. I think talking about the previous lives. So when I quit karate, I immediately went into cheerleading, which was competitive. Mm-hmm. And then I cheered in college, which was competitive. And we won nationals in college. And so from there, I became a cheerleading coach. And the whole point of cheerleading and gymnastics and dance is that it's synchronized. And you're having to synchronize anywhere between 20 to 25 people at a time on a mat.
And some of those stunts that guys are doing on the cheerleading, oh my days.
It was
like
it's
what?
So much fun.
I mean, just gonna say, like mine and my wife's guilty pleasure was Cheer on Netflix. Like I was rooting for all of them on there. Like that was seeing what those guys and girls do on there is just incredible.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah,
it was and it's a lot of fun. And so you see that the synchronicity is the most important thing for that. And so now fast forward, 15, 20 years, you're saying, hey, Rachel, put together a team kata, 3 people, piece of cake. That's easy compared to trying to get 20 together.
But trying to get the training time for the 3 together all at one time is usually difficult, right?
So that's the interesting part. If you're familiar with the states, California's, all the way to the far side. Miami's all the way on the other side, and I'm here in the middle in Memphis.
Yeah.
And so we met up in June at camp. Is it June? Yep. We met up in June at camp. And so we had, and you know how tired you get at camp. And so we had 30 minutes after each training where the 3, and it was just the 3 of us. Thank goodness the instructors really let us kind of coach ourselves. And I did a lot of recording, and I think that helped.
Well, the recording I think is vital when you're doing stuff like that.
Yeah. You have to.
And what was it? What was it like? Could you guys sort of like have a word with each other without sort of like pissing each other off? I guess you got thick enough skin to like, look, you're ahead there. Like, come on, like, relax.
You'll be fine.
God. I can't say enough about my team. They're young. They're 20, 22 and 24. They're young. And, lucky for me, I'm older and they grew up watching me coming up. So there's a certain level of, I'm their senpai. Mm-hmm. And so there's that bit of respect. However, I have the same amount of respect for them because of how hard they work and their athleticism and the things that they bring to the table. I let them know constantly where they're much better than I am and how I'm trying to get to their level, speed, power, things like that.
Yeah.
And they're very humble and nice, and also saying the same things like, well, you know, your technique is, you know, we're trying to get our technique to look like yours. So when we do videos, we will call out if something's off, but we've never had an argument. We've never made anything personal, and we try to call our own stuff out first. And I think that's the key. If you call yourself out first and say, here's where I've gone wrong, then
you've got to look within, haven't you? Like where you've got to be able to hold yourself like to account.
Yeah.
Right. So now you said you guys have never competed Team Kata, but no. In your dojos, have you ever coached it?
A little bit. Yeah. I mean, since we sort of changed associations and stuff, there we're sort of like starting again really with the club. So we're just starting to get the numbers going again. Yeah. But even when we were with the other dojo, it was trying to find. We never really had like people in and around either the same age or height. It was one of those things where you're trying to make it look right when the three go out. You know, go out. So you'd either have like two tall girls at the side. We never really like had coach guys. It was generally women or young girls really, and it was, you know, you'd get two sort of like quite tall young girls, then like a really short young girl like in the front, you know. Yes, it was hard, but you know we would get there a bit, you know, they were all right, but it's just trying to find people that want to do it and, you know, and want to do it together and can find the time to do it together. I think that's always been like the hard part, really.
That's definitely the biggest challenge. And I think you might have already left. I think I was on my way out, but then like young kids started to do it as well. So it was like we had a boy, a couple of girls, and they were trying to do it as well. It's the challenge as well, isn't it? Different ages, trying to like get them all together. You know,
trying to get everybody everyone together. It's never really fallen right. I mean, I remember my father's club. We had like some Team Kata going on again with, but again, it was just. It's never been a big big thing in the dojos that like I've been involved with. So in individual kata, yes, but Team Kata could never quite get a full team together.
Yeah. We had that same issue. You know, we've been trying for, again, this journey has been since 2014 to find the team. And Grace, the girl to the right, she's in Miami, and I was traveling to Miami a lot and training down there as much as I could. And so she and I would always get together. And we've always had our part of the triangle, but finding that third person that was either in the dojo or that, like you said, had time or was willing to travel or whatever. We've done competitions for all of this time, and that third person has been different every single time until this past year and a half.
But that's like that psychological thing. I think for the other, like for you and the other person that's still together, then you're trying to bring someone else in. Then because you guys can read each other, and then you're trying to get clear that like doing that to yourself again. Going, oh, here we go again. We got to get everybody, get everything on sync, get everything on point. You know, but I mean, what a fantastic thing it must have been though to get the score come in, and then obviously it's gone you've put the hard yards in and got the result.
Yeah.
Is that, do you feel like that with achieving that, do you feel like that you're done with competition now, or are you still raring to go? Like still?
Oh, no. In fact, this is going to sound terrible, but this is the only way I can say it. I do not train karate as much and as hard as I should for what I try to do, for the competitions and things that I try to do. I do not train hard enough and long enough. I don't have a dojo here still since COVID. So we're going on 6 years now that I haven't been inside of a dojo. I go down to Miami. I try to go down there like 4 times a year and train, but that's, 4 or 5 days at a time. I hit as many camps as I could do, but that's probably 4 or 5 a year. Mm-hmm. And so when you're looking at like how much time am I putting on the floor, it's very small. So what I do instead is I go to the gym every day, and I do like everything that I do at the gym is, and you guys know this too, it's cross training. It's very much like, band works that'll help with punches, or hip flexor exercises that's helping with the kick. So it's not like I'm trying to, be a bodybuilder. I'm still training for karate. I'm just not actively doing karate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so after Japan, we got 4th in Japan with our team kata, which was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then we win the Pan American in September, which has never been done. So for us, that was huge. And so I'm sitting here thinking, well, damn, if I actually trained, what could we do?
Yeah,
what could we really accomplish if I put the time in?
Where can it go?
Where can it go? And so that's been my focus now, is just actually training karate now, training differently in the weight room, even more, getting cardio up, getting weight down. 46 is a fun age for women. And so you have to really relearn your body and learn how to.
It's training just training differently. I've noticed it, like from like being 43 is just doing things. You've got to do things a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Like injuries. Do you have any current injuries at the moment?
Not so much. Andy's got sort of like a hip bone on bone thing going on. So he's
lack of a cartilage in my right hip, which I've been living with for quite a long time. So
you feel those little bone spurs?
Yeah, to a degree. Now not so much, because I've had to change the way I'm training. And things I'm doing kind of like what you're doing, but just different, and listening to the body. So like, you punch and you use your hip, and it's just like, oh, okay, that hurt. Right, let's not do that. Let's just slow it down, perhaps. I'm an advocate for cold water therapy. Wim Hof. Don't know if you do that, but I found that's really helped me as well. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, again, like I'm sure, like when you started karate, the same with like when I started karate. I mean, it was just the harder. Well, it was hard. In the UK, it was known as just like harder, faster, stronger all the time. And it was like, if you had an injury, don't worry about that. Just train through it. You train through an injury, don't worry. And it was like, I mean, like you think of like how much we've learned about like the body and body mechanics and recovery as well.
Amazing.
Like now, all this. I mean, I don't know with the old, like the older generation above you, and probably would have inspired you. I mean, a lot of the generation that inspired me have either had to have new knees or new hips, because one, they were we were doing it wrong, or the harder, faster, stronger method, which was just. The front, again, you probably might remember, but it's like the front knee would put, again, back then it wasn't told about trying to keep it as still as possible, and not when you're stepping, and not letting the front knee literally give the old Elvis legs, like going on. So it's
so true.
Yeah,
it's so true.
But it is. You can watch videos if you see them on, on YouTube or whatever. Like back in the day, people are coming forward, and the knee is just window wiping across all over the place, and it's like, wow. There's no wonder people have had to have new knees and new hips,
Yeah, or wait for a new hip.
Yeah, or wait for a new hip.
Wait for it.
Wait.
I'm too young, apparently.
Yeah.
Right. So do you find now that we have all this new science and knowledge of recovery and how important it is and stretching and building, do you find that you're implementing that for your younger students yet?
Or? I think the way that we're like, the way that we're teaching now is just different. The way that you're doing the technique is different. I think now, like knowing that, squats is very important to build your building the legs up. Again, core work, plenty of core work, plenty of leg, lots of legs, get those legs as strong, but like you're saying about people like with the bum sticking out, you'll see that like more and more. And it always makes me think of, Ota Sensei said it like, once, I think, I was doing Shuto and my bum was sticking out. And he's like, "Oh, Chris, you're too sexy for me." And I was like,
"Oh dear!"
I was just like, "Sensei, I'm not sure you can say that." I was like, "I know we know it." It's like, "I know we've known each other a long time, but like steady on."
Oh, he's so much fun, isn't he?
Oh, and he gets to the and it's right. It's right, and it's been now like you're trying to tell people, look, when you're in stance, you don't have to like be getting too. I don't know, too twitchy about it. You get a lot of people that constantly they're in stance, Shuto, I'm like that, and the checking, and the checking. You're taking a bit away from what you're trying to do. But at least if you're there and Sensei's talking, just check, is my bum tucked in? Like, is it? So right. And again, I think as well, since we've been training, I mean, I don't know about you, but it's like. I know, like with the Japanese way with the JKAs, that it should be like this, and I get that is what they want you to do is this, but again, being 6'3" and if one of the Japanese or even in English, whichever sensei is like, my body is different to that, trying to replicate that precision. I think it's good trying to aim for perfection, obviously always. But again, I'm not 5'3" and made of elastic. Like I'm 6'3" and quite gangly, and like trying to make it. So again, everybody trying to do karate for your body shape, I think, is more the way that I try and we try and go now. But we're still trying to keep some trying to aim for perfection all the time. But I've got to try and do karate for my body shape. I don't know.
No, you're right.
Because I don't want it to sound like I'm ragging on because it's not what I mean, But I certainly over the years was told a lot of no, this is you do it like this, and I was like, well, I'm trying, and I will keep trying to do it. Yeah. But
my knee doesn't go that direction.
And my ankle can't just bend, right. It just doesn't do that. So it's just, I think there's got to be a little bit more give and take there for doing karate to your body shape. I think that's what I'm saying.
I agree with that. It's interesting. I think that for us, they've started making some of those adjustments the past 3 or 4 years. They've started changing little tweaks in the katas. And so for us old school people, we're like, hey, wait a minute now. Why are they changing the katas? We've known these, forever and ever. And so when we went to Gashuku in Japan last year, I think it was, we asked these questions, why the changes? And they said, well, karate has a lot of older people too. And if you do karate this way and do this kata this way your whole entire life, you're going to have knee problems. Yeah. You're going to have hip problems. Yeah. And so they're trying to make it still applicable and still dangerous, because that's the whole thing, is karate supposed to be dangerous. But how can you make it dangerous and not hurt our bodies, right? Yeah. So I think they're trying to make some of those adjustments, but I love the fact that it's just unfortunate that it's after we get injured, like all of us. Yeah, it is. That we learn we have to change the way we train, and we have to find our own recovery and find all of that. And so I love that you guys are passing that down to your students, because that's key. I watch my son all the time, and I get beyond frustrated at some of the sports that he plays, at the coaches, because the coaches don't have them warm up. They're like, oh, they're kids. They don't need to stretch. They don't need to warm up.
But I bet we all remember being like that. I remember like doing the warm ups and stretching, like in the, at the beginning of the session. I'm like, why are we doing this? I'm like, good to go, because you're like a kid, and it doesn't really, it doesn't feel like it really matters. And then like you get to hours, like, I'm going to need a good solid 10, 15 minutes here, like, at least, Maybe, maybe a bit of deep heat as well, like.
Right. Come on, massage. Yeah. But it's what more than that, you're building what these kids need to know for life going forward. They need to know how to warm those muscles up. They need to, that way, I don't know how injuries are for kids over there, but here there are so many ACL, MCL, knee issues, hip issues already with the IT bands and ankles because of improper.
I'm not.
Warm up.
Yeah, I've not come. To be honest, I've not really heard of many injuries like again ACLs and things like that. Like again, I may be out the loop a bit. I don't know, but like I certainly haven't heard of like that within karate, like within some of the other karate clubs and things like that we know. So yeah.
Oh no, sorry about the other sports.
Oh, just other sports. Oh yeah.
Other sports.
If I was gonna rag on one just in particular, not rag because again the people are super fit and everything, but like it's the one I really like the look of CrossFit, with the exercises they do, but I know that they suffer from like ACL, shoulder tears, bicep tears. I know it's pretty prevalent in the CrossFit. And so especially especially anything that's got like overhead snatching like they do with the barbell and stuff I'm not. No, it's especially when you compete.
We'll let the kids do that.
Especially like when you're competing against other people, you're gonna go that little. You're gonna go a little bit heavier. You're gonna push the envelope, and then you're gonna tear something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So now, you guys, are y'all still competing or getting back into competing, or what does your journey look like karate going forward?
Oh, wow.
I competed with JKA England just for a short period of time, a bit like yourself, had time away from karate. I hadn't passed my Shodan, so I'd failed it once. Bit of a sport child moment, chucked my toys out, was like, right, that's it, I'm done with it, blah, 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 and typical just teenage behavior really. And had time, kept dipping my toe in and out, and then came back, trained solidly 3-4 times a week. I mean, did Shodan, got my Shodan done, managed to as well get invited to try out for the squad. So compete again. That was probably getting late, late 20s going into 30s. So I felt like I'd missed a massive chunk really. And then did a world championships in Thailand and did a European championships. And then me and my wife, we had our first child. So I felt everything was going in that direction. But then obviously I knew the effort and time that was required, and I am quite cutthroat like that. Is if I can't give that time and effort, then I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So had quite a bit of time off, kept coming. Then once children getting a bit older, started doing a bit of competing, and I thought I was totally done with it from when I was 40. I was like, no, that's it, not doing it anymore, not doing it. And then competed last year in our nationals. Did Kumite and got the nice runners up third place medal.
That's excellent, though. That's great.
Yeah, it was. It was. I'm always hard on myself. I think even if I win, I'm never happy. It's okay, good, that's fine. I'd pick fault with something. Yeah, I'm just that way inclined. I'd just pick fault with something, and it's for me. It's more about trying to bring my kids on. So my eldest is 12, my youngest is 9, and my 9-year-old became national champion for his age group. Like,
Wow.
and I was coaching him from the side. So, you know, like he listened to everything I had to say. So that I think that's more like where my direction is,
I love it.
like, is
Yeah.
headed. We keep like getting Andy out of retirement every now and again as well. So he's a bit younger than me, so he's got no excuse.
Yeah.
So
Never mind this bone on bone on
no,
your
it'll
hip.
be
Come
all right.
on, you'll be fine.
I could still go.
Just drag the leg along with you,
Well,
you'll be fine.
it.
There you go. Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I'm still competing. I competed last year. Yeah, always. I just can't say no.
Once it's in you, it's in you.
Yeah. But before that, I was competing anyway when I was a kid. So and I was getting the third place, the nice shiny bronze medals, and then like Chris had time out. And came. Well, in fact, it was Chris who brought me back.
Yeah, I do seem to have a knack of dragging. I do just seem to have the knack of dragging people out of it, either that have like, you know, walked away from karate and dragging them back into to training. But that was a really good thing because Andy, you know, you'd tried out for your Shodan a few times, hadn't you, and not been successful, and it was just like. I was like, right, come on, come back training. We're gonna sort it out. We're gonna get you over the line, and you know we got you over the line.
That's it. Got the Shodan after. I think it was when I was 16. I sort of I thought I got it. I was a 16-year-old. I thought I've smashed this. I've got it. And then Ota Sensei was like kata only, and then that was it. My world just. And I just was like, you know what. I think as well at the time I displayed that sort of typical attitude, and I was just that wrong attitude. You know, we've talked about respect,
and that's where the karate is like. The karate in life is a humbler. You learn your way, and you learn that. Yeah. No, got to go back to the drawing board and start again.
That's it. And then I quit, which was the wrong attitude. I think if not regret, but if I had to get all right, if we could go back in time, I would have. Carried on when I was 16 rather than be like, oh, I didn't get my black belt, so I've quit.
But I think you can't look back too much because everything that led you to coming back is like what shapes you. So
that's it. Yeah, exactly.
That's true. That's true.
Definitely.
But I do find it as an instructor, you know, like when you can see something in someone, you know, and you know. Like even within the dojo and what karate could do for them, or like, you know, can push them, you know, you know, that's one thing I found as an instructor. I never wanted to be an instructor. I don't know about you, but I never wanted to instruct. I just wanted to be on my own path and just do that. You know, and you're sort of thrust into that position, and then you start to embrace it. And then, like Andy, seeing that, well, that's a hurdle that needs to be. Myself, I was just myself like, was like 18 years or something a first cue before I like finally like came back training solidly. You know, but that's the same with Andy, like seeing that. Well, we need, you know, he's got it in him. He can do it. You know, like everyone can do it. It's just putting the hard yards in.
Absolutely. I think that's 16 years.
16. You know, so we have a joke of what we say with we say it lovingly. We say it very lovingly. Let me preface this the correct way. You have to be crazy to do karate.
A little bit.
You have to be a little bit different, a little bit walk into your own beats to want to do karate, just for the nature of what it is. Just for the fact that unless you're doing competition, like, you know, competitive karate, but to do karate and to say I want to learn A, how to defend myself, and B, I'm willing to let you learn how to defend yourself on me. It's a little bit crazy. And so the second piece to it too is I'm always super interested in when we go to these camps and you start to get to know people on a human level outside of karate, how smart everybody is. We have so many doctors and lawyers and teachers and like really true professional people that are in karate that are doing this crazy thing, you know? And so my friends and I are always trying to connect the dots and say, what is it that keeps us coming back for more? What is it? Is it the intellectual part, or is it we're so ingrained with a competitive spirit that we're not ready to give that up? Is it a Peter Pan syndrome? Like, what is it that keeps us? And even more so, the older we get, the more we're chasing, not just competition, but we're just chasing karate and chasing the meaning and chasing the love of it. And so I guess my question to you guys is, how do you feel about it? Do you think it's a competitive spirit, or do you think it's a more intellectual level?
It's a mindset. It's a bit of a mindset. It's a bit of everything. I mean, like I was saying before, the life lessons and the things that I see in it now, and the every day-to-day thing that I do, I'm like, oh, karate has taught me to deal with that. Or, you know, I don't know. Lots of different things to do with life lessons for me. I mean, certainly trying to get in, again, everybody's got an ego, right? I think it's just what you do with that. I mean, certainly like when I was competing, I also wasn't an egotistical fighter. Like I used to be very scared as a child. I think I didn't want to do competition. And then when I reached an age when I was like, all right, I can do this. You know, like took me a little while, but then it was that thing of like, you see it at competition, like people are looking at the order sheet of the day and they're going, oh my God, I've got so and so, or I've got this person, I've got that person. I'm like, but you've already lost. Like you've already lost to that person, yeah like that doesn't matter. No, I'm like, they've got you. They've got to get through you. And I think it was just that thing of like, in the end, I just, like, I don't know, maybe in one sense embraced an ego and again thinking, well, I don't care who I fight. It's not, I'm not bothered. I don't care. And then I didn't care if I won or lost either, really. Like, I didn't want to lose. I think I definitely didn't want to lose, but even if I did win, I didn't care. It was very, very, very strange, but letting go of that sort of that bit of like competition ego, I guess, of like, when I was done with competing, or you know, certainly it was like coming back, like when you asked before, and I came back training, and came back into competition last year. It was like having a real question yourself, because it's like you'd sort of I was at peace with letting that side go that had got that edge. And you know, like again, especially like you stepping up, I mean, especially in the veteran, like over here now, like veterans category is like 40 years old plus. You know, like I don't know what it's like in the States, but like the veteran category is brutal. Them guys, like some of them, they've lost speed, they've lost timing, and they're all just trying to remove each other's faces, like, you know, like, and like I was thinking, I don't know if I really want that, because that's going to spark it in me. I don't know if I really want that to be like intense anymore, like when competing. And the same thing. A guy just literally kept trying to smash my face in.
Yeah, I remember that.
I ended up grabbing him by the throat. Was just like
he woke you up.
Yeah, he woke me up, and I was just like grabbed him and was just staring. I'm like, are you good? Like, you know, like chill, like, you know, like we don't need that. So that there's that thing as well. I mean, it's knowing when to let go, and I think I'd become at peace with letting that part of like sort of ego side go, and it's just more about doing the karate for the just pure enjoyment and just learning, I think.
That's beautiful.
I think
that's
as
beautiful.
well,
and passing it on to the kids, passing it on to the kids, you know, and onto the next generation,
leading from the front, isn't it, for us? Because I think, I could be wrong unless anyone tells me differently, but black belts, we're seen as like the leaders, aren't we? We're seen as like the role models, the people who...
Well, you are if you put yourself into that position again, because not every black belt wants to lead. I bet you... Well, I never wanted to lead. Did you?
No, I didn't. But we found out. We were thrust in that position, though, weren't we?
But it's a situation.
But we're viewed. But the black belt, I agree with you. That the black belt is viewed. It has that perception of these are supposed to be the leaders. Yeah.
So I think for me, just it was like letting go the ego. I've got sort of the mindset. I've done it before. I've got nothing to prove. If I win or lose, I'm okay. Whatever. So good.
That's a beautiful place to be in.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know about you, but I found it very difficult to let go, like of like saying that you're going to compete. Like I really struggled. Like I say, I'm not the most technical person, you know, like I enjoy doing kata. I've said like before, I love going through the basics now. Like when I was younger, you'd be like, oh, we were doing this again, but then again, that's all part of like getting older and like just realizing that no, how do you need to keep the knife sharp, don't you? So we got to keep sharpening those basics, and it's just trying to find again a bit of just tranquility in the bit that you want to do, I guess.
Yeah, the new purpose.
Yeah.
Because I think karate does have a different purpose throughout your life for you.
Yeah, definitely.
It's interesting because something you said reminded me when I first came back and I did my first nationals. I lost 2012. And so when I came back in 2013, I'd trained, I'd practiced or whatever. And there were two people ahead of me, two ladies that were absolutely amazing. I look up to them. I aspire still to this day to, embody all the spirit that they have with karate. They're wonderful. But I trained that whole year with them in mind. And it was like, how would this person be training? How would this person be training? I have to do more. I have to do more. And so when the time came, and, in JKA, I don't know how it is in other organizations, but when you step up to the line, they call the kata for you. You're side by side. They call the kata for you, which within itself is a mind game, right? That's very, very difficult. So I did the first round. I did the Heian round, and I got Heian Yandan. I remember this to the T. And I won my round. The second round, they called me up on deck, which again is like you said, you're looking at this, you're looking ahead of time and you're seeing, oh, I don't know how I did that, but I was cute. And so they called me up, and it was one of the ladies that I had been training in my mind all year. And they called me Aka. So I had to take my belt off and go put the red belt on. And I will never forget that feeling of walking over to the bench, taking my belt off. And I said, Rachel, you don't have to do this. There's nothing keeping you here. You can just keep on walking and walk out and go to the locker room and change your clothes, and nobody would ever be the wiser, and you could be done. You could, and I was very, very close to that. And I had the belt off, and I looked over at her, and something clicked in my mind. And I said, you have trained all year for this moment, for this particular moment, to go against this particular person. You have to see what happens. And I put the belt down, and I picked the red one up, and I put it on, and I said, this is it. You're all in. There's no holding back. If you hold back, you're going to regret it forever. Go to the line and go do everything you possibly can. And so that for me was the moment that you said that kind of woke me up and put me in that fighting spirit of competition and trying to achieve. And I did win that round, thank God, because this story would have no relevance if I hadn't. But that for me was my karate awakening moment. That's when my mindset completely shifted. And I think, like you had said as well, we've missed so many years in between. I still feel like I'm chasing all those years and trying to get back time that I lost. And so
can totally get on board with that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so difficult. And so until that switch gets flipped back off, I think I'm on this path until whatever.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
sometimes like you said, obviously you passed your fifth dan. So I mean, a lot of the time you can have a grading like as the motivational tool to be in the dojo and be training hard, because you're using that as something to focus the mind and go with. Do you look at grading like that, like it's there as a motivational tool, or is grading just something that you feel like you've got to do?
It's a great question, because for the first couple of years that I came back, I was still a Shodan, and I had no desire to test at all. And then we started to see and understand more, maybe some politics that were going on, or seeing other organizations that were having issues. And we realized as a group, that we were the future. Mm-hmm. And there are certain people no matter what organization, that the day they're able to test, they're out there testing.
Yeah.
And so they're going to move up the ranks. And so we started seeing these people that wouldn't maybe necessarily, I'm not going to say be great leaders, but maybe didn't want to be leaders, were going to end up being leaders if we didn't start, the ones who really cared and wanted to preserve everything, didn't start testing. So sorry, that was a really long way to get to the answer of,
because I'm like that with grading at the minute. Like, you know, I was saying I had a bit of a nightmare going for Sandan, and really had to rethink like my approach to like how, if I was to grade again, like to go for it. But it's never been my motivation. Like a bit like yourself, past Shodan, I was like, oh God, that's like a hurdle for me. I'm not really bothered, you know. And then did Nidan really out of just, I think one of the students, when I was asked to run the old club for a while, one of the students that I'd been teaching wanted to go for his Nidan. I was like, well, I can't have you above me. That's just not on. You know, like, this is like a guy. This is now a guy that I'd been, known from a kid. You know, so that was the thing that really like focused my mind. But I think really the only thing now is to go for Sandan is like my father got the Sandan, and that is like I'd just be like, just so I could go, hey, made it. You know, like made that. That's like just my motivation. Other than that, I'm just like, I'm not really too fussed. You know. But it's, again, everyone uses the grading tool, I think, in a different way.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, definitely for us right now, it's about trying to aid those that are in charge right now, and the best way we can aid them is by being just under them.
Yeah.
You know, giving them a reason to be able to say, okay, hey, you know, she's going to come teach a class, or hey, let's look at how they're, you know, whatever it is.
But even like, I mean, for yourself, like passing fifth Dan, I mean, you're already, you know, you've separated yourself like from, you know, the pack, I would say, like massively, you know, because you think like about people who start karate, you know, it's only going to be a short number, small number that, you know, pass Shodan. I mean, getting to Nidan, you know, maybe a couple more, you know, Sandan again. Like Sandan, you're starting to really usually like thin out there. So yeah, getting up to like 4th, 5th Dan is like, well, I'm hat off to you, because it's
definitely,
you know.
Thank you. I can't stop smiling when you say that, because even in my mind, it's still surreal.
So I mean, like, even to put it into perspective, like with the old club we were involved with, so like, I don't know, I mean, the club had been going, it's still going, but it'd been going from, say, like a bit like 1967. I think we ended up saying like 1970, and then because no one could truly know like when it actually first started. But in the club's history, there's probably only, I think maybe like 9 or 10 third dans, and only like one 4th dan.
Oh wow!
You know, like, so you can see that, and that's in a small, like, it's a small market town in England. You know, and the amount of people that had, you know, it's quite a lot of numbers that had passed, you know, Shodan within those years. But still quite a small number. But you know, like we're saying, when you start getting up to like 4th, 5th dan, I mean, it's that the dedication that is required to be there is, and it's letting people know that, again, because if people either watch this podcast out of curiosity, you know, for karate or anything like that, is if someone tells you they're a 4th or 5th dan, you know, or above, is just the dedication that it's taken to get there. So I take it you're getting starting to prepare for 6th dan now, like just starting to get mentally.
Well, we haven't even made it a year into the Godon, and so I still have 5 more years to go. And if I'm not mistaken, I think now the new rule is that you have to test for 6th in Japan.
In Japan, that was from what I remember. From what I remember with the JKAs, you have to like take it. That's a whole other level. Because again, the commitment there, as in like cost. Never mind like the dedication to the karate, is like the financial cost.
It's so expensive.
Have you been to Japan?
is.
Have you been? Obviously, I know you was at the Worlds, but have you been to Japan a few times, or is it?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. We try to go. we try to go at least once every other Gashuku.
Yeah.
So we went in 2019, then we had COVID hit, so we missed that. Then we went in 23, we went in 24. Last year we didn't go, did we? No. So this year, so we'll try to go. I think April for the Gashuku for then. And it's more so that Japan is just an amazing country. It's a beautiful place to go. The amount of energy that you feel from the people there, everybody is so nice, everybody is so respectful, and you come back. I feel like I come back a better person when I go there. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoy Japan, period, karate aside. And then to be able to train with all of these people that you have watched on YouTube for years and years, and they're now, in your face in a little bitty dojo telling you, bend your knee, or this is, do more like this, or whatever it is it's so great. In fact, the last time I went,
just to go and train in the Hombu, I'm sure is just.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah. And that's one of the things I told my brother, because I had to get permission. I said, hey, I want to test in the Hombu dojo. He goes, what are you going to test for? I said, I don't care. Whatever I have, instructor, judge, whatever I'm due next to do, if it's okay, may I please test? And he was like, yeah, you can. Okay. So I think I did instructor C. Yeah, I did instructor C.
They're tough though on those licenses, aren't they?
Oh, it was intense. I will say that I had to really get in my head for that. I had Taniyama Sensei as my head instructor, and Kurihara, if I'm not mistaken. And so, you're sitting, and everybody watches you. Everybody that's testing watches you, and they call out and they tell you what to do, of course, And so, and I passed, and so that was even more like, I've now tested in the Hombu dojo, bucket list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, cool. we had like one of our old instructors. He's bless him, he's had to sort of retire from karate now due to a bit of ill health. But I think he passed his 4th dan in the Hombu dojo, and it was like, he like told us some stuff that like that sounded like seriously intense, like grading there.
Oh yes. Yeah,
not to put you off for your 6th dan or anything like that,
Sure, be fine.
Well, let's see. By then I'll be 49, 50. So hopefully I'll be even more of like, just do what you can do. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's all you can do is what you can do.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But really, so obviously I wanted to talk about as well is obviously. Being a female in in karate, like when you first started, was there many females like in the dojo, or that you knew that was in the karate world?
No. Now I will say this: where I grew up was a very, very small town in the state of Mississippi, and so kind of like you described your dojo, the whole town pretty much ran through the dojo. Everybody took karate, everybody, so at some point everybody knew my parents. And my mom was such a force and was so elegant in her normal everyday life and such a pleasant person. And they're both still here, not speaking to her in past tense, but she was so graceful and elegant, but yet when she was in karate and people saw that side of her, she was fierce and just like inspiring for women. It was like just amazing. So she inspired more women to get into it. She also she had a couple of friends that she met through karate that took, so there were maybe 3 or 4 adult women. We always had upwards of 50 students to up to 100 consistently, and about 3 or 4 of them were women. Now, as the kids, there were a lot more little girls that took, but they didn't last for very long. When I came through, I had 3 girlfriends that were with me that did it. And so
any of them still doing it now?
No.
Oh, no.
No. one of them stayed with it for a little while after I moved to Memphis. After I quit, she stayed with it for a little while, and she did pretty well. But she was probably 20 when she quit. Yeah. No, not that's interesting. I haven't even thought about that.
Did you find, because again, you don't see like many. I've not seen like many female leaders like in karate, and I mean, I feel like that has changed. It's more from when I first started. Like that, it certainly has changed a lot. You are seeing like more female instructors teaching, on courses.
Sorry, guys.
Yes. But it's one thing that I felt like that women in karate have been pushed back a little bit over the years, but you are seeing a bit of, I would say you are seeing a little bit more of a turn now.
Yeah. It's an interesting point, because I think that we never really, as a girl, I never really noticed it. It wasn't, so sorry. It was never a thought, I guess, because my mom was right there beside me. And so all the women in my life were doing it. So it wasn't really a thing. And it wasn't until I started going to Japan that I really noticed, because we went with Hirayama Sensei.
I love Hirayama Sensei.
Amazing.
I think if I would go and train with her anytime, even like if the JKA, when they have like their open courses and stuff, because I thoroughly enjoy her sessions.
She is. She's unbelievable. And so I got to spend a lot of time with her and visit with her. And she said that she was the first woman to go through the instructor's training program. I asked her.
I'm sure she's got a story to tell.
Oh, I'm sure she does. And so I said, well, how many others are there? And if I'm not mistaken, I think there's maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's three or four. I think there's not many.
Yeah, there's not many at all. And so, why is that? Is it because they haven't really met the standard? Is it because they can't perform to the level that instructors need to be? And I understand that. I understand that. She is the exception. Her mind is there, her body is there, her training is there. Like, everything is where it needs to be for her to be a good example for our organization, for students. And so I'm both proud that they keep that standard very high, but at the same time, I'm a little sad that we don't have more women that can meet that standard or haven't met that standard.
Yeah, I was chatting to a lady a bit back, and they were saying they were given an opportunity to teach at a course, and she found that maybe if it was like where a male instructor was had given an instruction or something like that, they wouldn't have been questioned on it, but like, because she gave the like a thing that she was being challenged more by the men, and it was like, found that quite interesting, that again, that they're not sort of, women aren't, they're not being treated the same, really.
Well, I mean, I'm not a feminist to a lot of degree, so I kind of stand with the side of, I understand. If you go back to primal days, men were the leaders. Mm-hmm. Women, I'm not going to say that we fell back. We had our very important role as well, but it was a different role. And men had a very military, hunter-gatherer, they had that kind of role. And so now we're talking about karate. It only makes sense for everybody, men and women, to kind of maybe be innate, geared to listen to men more than you're going to listen to women, because that's just how it was. But that's again, just how the times have gone.
But again, thinking it even say going for a grading, say, I mean, obviously, again, the body mechanics and everything, women will move differently to men. So again,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably getting on some dodgy ground here. I don't know.
You won't upset me. I
promise.
No,
I'm just like, maybe anyone listening. It's again, I'm not a woman, so I don't like, again, women move differently. It's like even like now the gis, like they have special, even different cut gis for women. Where years ago it was just everybody had the same gi, didn't they? And
it was so heavy, wasn't it? It was so heavy back in the day.
There's no like lightweight gis then. It was like like wearing a towel.
Heavyweight taekwondo.
No, like what I'm saying is like for even like for grading, like again, it'd be like no different. I guess if like say Hirayama Sensei was grading you or something like that, like it's again, she's a woman. She knows like how a woman's body moves and works, and it is different to the way that the men do it.
It is different. It is different, and I think that's why I love training under her so much, because she can explain things to me for my body, I feel like. But what's interesting is that she'll step right next to the person beside me who's a man, and she'll explain it the exact same way to him.
Okay.
So, maybe some of it's perception, maybe some of it's just like, your brain. I don't want to say placebo, but maybe some of it's just you just looking for something, looking for an excuse, looking for a reason to like this person or not like this person or whatever that's teaching you. And to give yourself an excuse to get out of something. I will say this. I think that now I'm getting on dodgy ground.
No, go for it. It's all right. Go for it.
So, for instance, I did Sensei Mikami, our head instructor, is amazing in that he always wanted us to cross train. He always, in fact, for the winter training camp, he would bring in other styles. And it was not to...
Brilliant. Now you're talking our language.
It was not to... I know it. He's absolutely amazing. If you guys haven't learned anything about him, I urge you to just kind of read up on him.
For sure.
Definitely.
We've been very, very blessed to have him. Let me just say that. And so he would bring into these camps Aikido, Judo, just all in grappling, everything. And his meaning behind it was, I don't want you to go take this and start testing in this. It's not for you to join this, but it's so that you're a well-rounded karate person and you know everything that's going to protect you. You need to learn how to roll. You need to learn how to fall. You need to learn how to kick. You need to learn how to use a bow. You need to learn all of these things. And he would stand to the side while these masters of these other organizations and styles would come in and teach, and he would learn and teach, implement that into his teachings as well.
Oh, wow.
So,
and that's really good to see someone like that, the head of over there, and like that's totally embracing that. That's why I just think like it's. Certainly in the UK and elsewhere, like some of the big associations, it's just gone a little bit astray. Just embrace it, it's
gotta embrace it.
Yeah, I think it's more. It ends up getting more worried about maybe losing members, to something else. But it's just like just embrace it. If they ultimately, if they want to go and do something else, they're going to go do something else. But that's awesome that like that he was embracing that.
Brilliant.
He was amazing at that. But I'll never forget in one of the trainings, and I was young at the time. This was before I quit for the first time. But in one of the trainings, it was to pair up women to men, and for the men to literally sit on top of and restrain and hold a woman down, and for the woman to try to get out of that hold.
I can see why this is going to be controversial now. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was like, well, wait a minute. How do we haven't been taught this? And they were like, but this is real life. Mm-hmm. This is the kind of situation you need to train for. You need to train for a situation where a man is a lot stronger than a woman, and you have to fight differently. Yeah. And so that for me is the only like gender difference for karate that I would like to see is instead of us all men and women learning the exact same thing, I think women do need to learn how to protect ourselves from men, because we're not, it's not women that are going to be attackers to us. We need to learn how to, like more shrimping, how like they do in jiu-jitsu, more how to get out of holds, how to get away, because if you're just going to sit here and teach me how to fight and you're going to teach me how basics and things like that, I'm never going to be able to go toe to toe with a man and protect myself. And so that it's kind of unfair to teach me in that direction and not give me another tool.
Yeah.
And I think that's my only disagreement period with any martial arts, is that there does need to be some different gender teachings.
Yeah.
And along that point there, Sensei, is that something that you try and employ in your own teaching?
I'm so sorry. Say it one more time.
No, you're all right. No worries. So is that something that you try and bring in your own teaching?
When I teach my kids?
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. I had all kids at the time. And so back then, I wasn't necessarily teaching self-defense as in that way. My self-defense was more like, you're going to be with your parents. Don't let anybody, for instance, don't let anybody ever grab you and say, hey, if you make a sound, I'll kill your mom. I'm going to carry you off, and let them take you away. You drop down, you scream, you kick, you yell, you make a scene, you do as much as you, because they don't want attention brought to them. And so that was kind of more the direction I taught. I taught more like kid self-defense. And then what's interesting is that a lot of places around here will call and ask me to do women's self-defense classes. And I quickly turn it down. I don't give them a reason. I was like, oh, I'm busy or whatever. But it's mainly because I don't feel like I have the tools to come and teach that to the level that I would feel comfortable saying this will protect you from a real life situation. Because again, karate is a sport. It's a beautiful art and a sport.
I mean, there's certain moves, maybe certain moves and things like that would possibly help you in situations like what we're talking about. But yeah, I totally agree. It's not, when you say like women's self-defense, it's got to be something that's more realistic, and like you say, maybe like in your like something like with jiu-jitsu, getting a lock or hold on someone and doing some nasty groundwork or something like that. My mum. Still on topic of it, like my mum used to teach, like it was like sort of like anti-rape techniques, if that's what you would call it, with them. And a lot of that was, like you said, like if people like pinning someone down and things like if you can grab a wrist and like try and break a wrist, a knee, an elbow, something like that, just to give you like that, some time to like basically just
to get away.
To get away.
Okay.
Did you try and teach classes like for the kids with Zoom? Like most people did, like during that period.
Well, no, we didn't. We said, hey, this isn't going to last long. Let's shut down, and everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And it was very divided here in my town of Memphis, where half the people stayed home and shut down, and half the people kept life going just like normal. And looking back on it, who knows which way was the right way? We shut down. Now I wish we kind of hadn't, because I feel like I missed out on a lot of things.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, the dojo kind of being part of it. But no, in that time frame, in those 2 years, really, that the whole COVID era took, a lot of those kids graduated and went off to college. And so I missed out on finishing out their reforming years. But Karate at Home stepped in. And then other dojos stepped in. And so a lot of my time went to teaching
virtually and doing the stretching and everything like that. I remember.
Yeah. And that was, oh boy, that was a saving grace.
Yeah. Well, just to like give you keep your mind occupied. And again, thinking like, well, you're reaching out to people and helping people out as well.
Did you guys shut down during COVID?
I wasn't there at that time.
No, you weren't. I was. I'd not been like sort of like I'd not been teaching like at the club that long, and then I seen everybody going on about Zoom before there was like the lockdown, and I said to the chief instructor, I says, I think we're gonna have to jump on this thing called Zoom, and he's like, no, just put some videos from YouTube on it, it'll be fine. I was like, no, I think we're gonna have to really like get our heads around this and keep people, you know, like motivated and stuff. You know, I was fortunate. I mean, my wife. I mean, she worked all the way through with her job.
Oh, wow.
And we, like, with my job, I think we shut the workshop down for like 3 weeks. And then we were back at it. So I mean, I was constantly like doing Zoom classes, like kept everything the same. Schedule was the same, time pretty much the same. So yeah, I mean, like with work, it was great. There was no traffic on the roads. It was like the quietest. It was great. Like
it's the little things.
I remember stopping up at a service station, and I was like I think one of only 2 vehicles, and I was like walking in the service station trying to find a sandwich or something, and it was like I was just waiting for like the zombies to come running out, because I was like, this is surreal. Like this is like, it was eerie. This is like end of the world stuff here, you know. Wow. And but yeah, I mean, the one thing I could take from it really is, I mean, I'd happily never do another Zoom class ever again. But you know, just the fact of like keeping people going and motivated, I think for it would, you know, with our own club. I mean, I was fortunate enough to do the karate at home thing as well. Yeah, it was just about trying to keep people mentally right. You know, I think it's took a lot of its toll on some people. You know, I think other people have got back into the swing of things, no problem. Yeah, it was. Yeah, what a crazy time that was.
What a crazy time.
Definitely.
I tell you that my favorite part of it all was that Martin grew karate at home so quickly. Mm-hmm. And there were so many people where it kind of started out with just our organization. And then there were so many other people and other organizations that joined in. And then the next thing I know, I look up and there's 50,000 people on the site, following the karate at home. And that's huge. That's a huge platform to have. And so anytime any of us stepped on that platform, we were very well aware of the duty that we had to bring positivity, to bring karate, to bring good technique, to bring good ideas, you know, whatever it was. And through that, I can't even tell you how many friends, I mean, genuine friends that I made across the world that would message me afterwards, and we would start messaging and sharing ideas or training techniques or teaching techniques. And then when I went to Japan the first time after, I guess it was 23, for the Gashuku, the amount of people that came up that was like, hey, I'm so-and-so, this is me, this is my face, you know? And we got to be together once again for the first time after COVID, and we knew each other on a personal level. It was like,
it's just that thing. There were again, you're seeing people on there. It's that thing, though, isn't it? Like you see your favorite, I don't know, actor or actress on the screen and on the films and stuff, you know, and it's like that thing. Oh, I know them, but you don't know them. You're just like, you know, like it's. But
no, it was great. It was great, and so again, lifelong friends, just because of that horrible thing that happened. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
it was pretty cool.
I don't know though, but Zoom just took its toll though. I think everybody was just like, it's like Zoom fatigue a thing. I don't know. Like it's exactly. Yeah, God. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone was so happy like when we could even like just get out in the local park and like go train. I think even everyone now like says that train then was how much they actually enjoyed like training out like outside and like in the park.
Yeah. Well, it was different. Okay, I have a question for you guys on the parenting side.
Okay.
On the parenting side.
Oh.
So having students and children that are competing now, and now you're on the sideline and coaching them through the competition.
Yeah.
Do you find it more stressful being the competitor or now being the coach?
Oh, gosh.
Especially of your own kids?
Oh,
no, more stressful when I was competing. No, definitely.
Really?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Really?
Like, you don't want to see your kids like getting kicked or punched in the face. You know, like no one wants to really see that. But yeah, like I don't know. My youngest is just like he's like a bit of a he's a bit of a monster, to be fair. Like, so it's like I sort of pity anybody that has to go up against him. Like, but he's like 9 years old, so like, you know, my eldest is more like me. It was, you know, I don't think maybe competing's like for him. So I mean, maybe this year I'll give him a break. Like, but yeah, no, like. A little bit of nerves for the kids, but again, I think we prepare them quite well. So, like, again, you've got to let that go. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say competitor, but what I would add from the coaching point is an emotional roller coaster. Because although you're not on the mat yourself, you're on the sidelines, and you're like, particularly for
an example.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you've zero control. Yeah.
Exactly, especially in a kumite situation, you're like going through emotions with them in a way and getting a bit excited, or maybe on the mat, off the mat. Sorry, because you're not on the mat. But yeah,
but it's again, it's talking to them, because you're like you'll be shouting things, and like you'll know as well as I mean, like someone could be shouting something you from the side, but you're just in that, like little bubble, and you're like. You'll be lucky if you can actually hear anything, what anybody is like saying to you, because you're so like in the zone.
Right.
Or you might be saying something to the kids. Oh, you need to do this, need to do that. Then my little minds like can't cope with it.
They can't cope with it. Isn't that funny? So funny. Oh, for me, it's and maybe the best way to say it is the emotional roller coaster. For me, coaching, especially my son, that was the most nerve-wracking thing in the world. Of course, now. He was very good, but he was very, very, very small, very skinny, tall, but skinny. And so I worried about things like, of course, I'm a mama, you know, here's where the gender roles are different, but I worry about things like him getting his ribs broken, or him getting a tooth knocked out, or him getting a concussion, you know, all these mama moments where I'm like, you know, the whole time. But we did get to a level in his thinking where it was one particular time, it was so beautiful. He was probably 11. It was so perfect. I'm sitting on the sidelines and he's fighting, and I just said it like this: right foot front. And he goes, right foot front. And I said, throw it. And he did a most beautiful hook kick. And it pawned like in the first 10 seconds of the match.
Thank you very much.
And
easy day at the office.
So so he does listen to me. He can hear my voice. So all those other times that he wasn't paying attention, he just wasn't paying attention. He could hear me. He chose not to.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those like where you'll get, I don't know, where you've got to train somebody up, and then like when you get like the exception that's just got like that natural little bit of natural ability as well, which is always like is nice if they've got that as well, you know. But
it's rare though.
Really rare. But now it's. It's hard being. It is hard being on the sidelines as a parent, but you feel the nerves for them. I tend to get more nervous, I'd say, afterwards when I'm like, how did you find it? Oh, I was really nervous going out. Like, especially like my youngest, I'm well nervous going out, but like did not look it. Did not. Just didn't look it at all. And you're like, and then I feel probably more nervous and sad for them that they were so nervous. You just think, why do we do it to ourselves, or why do we put them through it?
What a beautiful place that we're getting to experience both sides of it too. Because think of the number of people that actually come through karate that maybe do get their black belt as well, but they only experience the student side of it. Whereas we're getting to experience both, like all sides of karate, parenting, coaching, student, like that whole thing. So it's
but again, that pressure that you put yourself under, like when you're competing and things like that as well, is just, it sets you up for life as well, because life's going to chuck plenty of pressure at you by the bucket load.
Absolutely.
Again, it's like when you're training, training with kumite, and you're going in front of someone that scares you a little bit, again, that's where you learn, and again, learning I think a lot of that pressure sets you up, sets you up in life.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Especially, well, with you being in the States, we usually, again, a lot of the people we've had on so far have like been from from the UK. So first international guest on, so that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh wow!
So, but quite a lot of the guests had trained with Anoida Sensei, who was like the main Japanese instructor that came to the UK, everyone goes on about like the presence, like what he had, like when he walked into the room, it could have been like, if there's hundreds of people in the hall, like, there was just like a magnetism of the guy. Would you say that that like the same is for your sensei, for Sensei Mikami?
I think so. Yeah, our Sensei Mikami, he won the All Japan twice, 2 years in a row, which back then, if I'm not mistaken, was pretty unheard of. Mm-hmm. He was a force. Okay, the best way I can say it's about energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I think,
totally.
And the best way to be a good instructor is to have the right energy, like you're talking about. You have to be magnetic. You have to be confident. You have to have that air about you that people not only want to listen to you, but they believe what you're saying and they believe what you're teaching. And Sensei Mikami always had that. And he had that through being super humble. He wasn't one of these instructors that was loud and boisterous and forced his ways on you. He would just say like these little beautiful gems, like repetition is key. That's the main thing. Repetition is key. Find your favorite technique and practice it 1,000 times a day. All these little bitty things that were the backbone he was building of our organization, of our training. And so he, even to this day, he doesn't get out as much, but even to this day, when he gets out, he has a big, huge smile on his face, which is not usually something you see with a lot of karate people.
No.
He's very personable as much as he can be with, how well he knows the person. It depends on how well he knows them. And he always wants to be a part of everything. So the last little get together we had after nationals, we had karaoke, and he was like, I want to sing too.
Oh, the Japanese, the Japanese love a bit of karaoke. Love it.
And they're quite good at it. And so he got up and he sang a Japanese song on the microphone, And so,
well, quick question, Sensei, what's your karaoke song?
Yes, yeah.
Oh no, I don't karaoke. No, not me. I dance. I'll be your backup dancer. That's about it. Yeah, my dad is the musician, so yeah, I didn't get that gene. Yeah. What about you? You have one?
Oh God, it's a bit. Mine's a bit morbid. I think mine's like losing my religion by REM, randomly. Yeah, I really like that one, but it's probably like sounds like murdering like 10 cats or something like that. I don't know.
Losing your religion.
yeah, literally, yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh, it's been ages since I've done karaoke. I try and avoid it. I prefer to be a backup dancer like you, Sensei. It's easier, isn't it? You just show up and do a few moves, and that's it. No one pays attention. I think when I was younger,
you've definitely got to put yourself out there for karaoke, haven't you?
I think when I was a lot younger, it was like Linkin Park used to sing.
Oh God, there we go. Going a bit.
Yeah.
It's going a bit hardcore.
Bad thing, I know. Sharing my youth here.
No, I remember quite foolishly, like actually now thinking of karaoke, quite foolishly, me and my oldest friend, we were on holiday, and and foolishly we thought we could sing "In the Jungle, the Mighty Jungle."
Oh.
It didn't go well.
It really didn't go well. No, there's some high notes in there that definitely couldn't be achieved.
You turned into the background dancer.
We tried to disappear into the background. I think that's like what it was.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
But
I love it.
So what if you're looking at it? What does, a bit of a deep question, but what does karate mean to you, Sensei?
The very first word that comes to mind is family, just because it is who we are together. And it's the first, like my first breath of life that I can possibly remember. My first memory is seeing my parents in their gis, my brother out on the floor training, and me just wanting to be a part of it. It's definitely family first. And I think next would probably be purpose. Because for me, I do have that competitive spirit, and for right or wrong, whether it's a good trait or not, I do have to have an incentive, something to look forward to, something to work towards, to keep a forward trajectory going, right? And so it's given me a purpose at this age in my life where I couldn't tumble anymore. I couldn't be a cheerleader anymore. Nobody wants to see that at 46 years old. So karate's a lot easier, throw on a big baggy gi and you can, do that well into your 80s. So yeah, family and purpose for sure.
And if you could go back, to sort of like when you first started, or to thinking to anyone starting maybe at 5 years old, like you started, like what bit of advice like would you give like that person at that age?
I think my advice would be more for the parent and the instructor than the kid. And I would say, do your best to make it fun, but also lead them down the right path, teaching them the right way. Don't be a McDojo. Don't placate the kid. Don't make them think that everything in life has to be amusement park fun. It needs to keep their attention, but they also need to learn that discipline. And I would urge the parents to keep the kids in there, even if the kid doesn't like it, for a couple of years, not through the teenage years. We all know that one.
Do you think it's a little bit too easy for kids to say, "Oh, I don't want to do that anymore," or "It's too hard"? Like,
absolutely.
And do you think that? And to be fair, that's again, like you said there. Like I'm a bit like that. If my kids like want to again do a bunch of like activities and things, it's like, well, no, you've at least got to do. If it's not karate, if you really don't want to do karate, which. Yeah, I think I was forced a bit, and I think I would like force them. But then we've got to do something else. If you don't want to do football, then what we're doing? We're trying rugby, or we're trying what is it? There's got to be especially in the day now with smartphones and tablets and computers. There's got to be some time where they're like engaging in a physical activity.
And team events.
Team event as well. Yeah.
I think that's where I give karate a little bit more leniency than I do other sports. Because karate's year round, it's more difficult. So, and look, every parent's different. Every coach is different. But for me and my son, when he wanted to start a new sport, absolutely. I want you to try to learn every sport, everything you possibly can, whatever's fun to you. But if you go to the first day, you're going to finish that season.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the season, if you decide to quit, you can be done with it. Karate's difficult because there's no point where you can say, well, you're going to finish the season, it's year round. Well, you're going to get your black belt. Well, that's 5 years, So I do give a little bit more leniency with, when you can let a kid quit karate. But yeah, I think we're just so fast and I think it's part of that new generation too.
The doom scrolling. It can get us all. It can get us all. Like it's.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I mean, obviously, I've seen. I think I messaged. I might messaged you. I think you put again some of the posts that you put out sometimes with about like a bit like the positivity and and checking in on people as well that might be struggling and things like that. I mean, that's become quite a big thing, for me. And is that quite a big thing for you? Like with mental health, people's mental health and things like that.
Yeah, I think where karate has really helped me evade a lot of the things like the wintertime blues or, you know, life blues or different things like that. I can recognize and I can see that a lot of other people don't necessarily have that same outlet or that same outlook, and they maybe struggle with it. And not to get too deep into it or too personal, but I have been that last call before, and I didn't know that I was the last call. And so that's where that post came from, because of something else I saw that triggered that memory. And I thought, you know, if everybody, could be more honest in calls and say, I'm struggling, I need my friend, I think that's important. And then on the other end of that coin, if we can be very perceptive and understand that if somebody does say that to you, drop everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it doesn't take, you know, it doesn't take long. A 15-minute conversation, 10-minute conversation, and
definitely.
And just, you know, our brains are wired like that, you know. And even in karate, you know that when we're fighting and you get popped in the nose, what's the first thing that happens? You're like, oh my God, I'm so pissed, that hurts so bad. And then in the next couple of seconds, you forgot about it and you're back to focus, you know. And it's the same thing in life, I think.
It's definitely. I mean, it was funny. I think you posted that post, and I must have. I'm sure I sent you a message or liked it. And then I think that same day. So I'd like, not to get into, but like I'd reached out to some people, a couple of people before, and you know they've been on the other end of a phone call that, you know, just to keep your mind right and things, and you know you thank them for it. And then I think on that particular day, I'd had a phone call with somebody that is struggling, and it does hit home that, like, again, people just life is busy and you get bogged down, but you know you gotta. You know, you need to make time to check in on people, or just drop them a message. You know, how's it going? You know.
100%, definitely.
It's I mean, I know it's getting talked about more now, but I think, you know, mental health and all that, like, it's got to be, you know, it needs to be taken way more seriously, and
it does. It's interesting because it seems like now we hear a lot more of it, and there's a lot more diagnosis, and there's a lot more names to different things than there were, you know, when we were younger. But I think
pull yourself together, boy. What's up with you?
I think that's what it was. I think it was taboo to say those kind of things.
Man up a bit.
You know,
there you go.
Man up. But you know. So asking you guys, and again, we can cut this part out too, but just as dads of boys, how do you, what is that balance? How do you tell your son to be both vulnerable and strong?
Ooh.
Difficult.
You know?
Very difficult.
Very difficult.
Really difficult.
I think I just try and tell the kids that, like, everything, there's never a subject. I mean, I was brought up this way as well, is that there's no subject that you cannot approach with, like, me or their mum, or me and the mum together, you know, like, it's not, you know, if they are feeling worried or scared about anything, just to say it, you know, like, don't try not to bottle it in. I mean, again, difficult because kids will do that. But it's just knowing there now, again, they have phones and things like that. That, look, you can, if you can, like, again, if it's, they can ring, text, message, anything, night or day, doesn't matter. I will drop whatever I'm doing, and just letting them know that you are there. They have someone there that is dependable and going to be there 100% of the time. You know, nothing matters. Nothing even comes close to, like, your kids, does it? You know.
No. I think it's like having that open door, isn't it? It's the open door. Like, even if, you know, you think it's silly, but it's bothering you, come and have the conversation. And let's talk about it. Get it all out in the open. That's what I try and implement with my daughter, having, unfortunately, being in the situation of having to attend people who are no longer with us funerals because for whatever reason they couldn't talk. You know, I think it's a very fragile, delicate situation. Thankfully, karate is going to that way and talking about it more. Well, in life as well. Everybody's talking about it more, aren't they?
It's trying to it's hard. It's trying to recognize your kids, because like really they do. I think kids, they do internalize a lot of things as well, you know, as well as adults do. But it's trying to recognize those signs and just communicate. One thing I've learned is that, and again, I've not mastered it yet, but again, communication is key.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not like in every aspect of life. If it's in, like we're talking about, you know, the podcast about karate, communication in karate is mega important, but communication just in life, like all the stresses people have, like they might be overthinking a situation or something like that in their own mind, and it could totally be solved with just better communication.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Well, also, maybe it's me, I can't help but people who are on the outside of karate, perhaps they feel like, hey, those guys in karate are invincible. Look what they do. How can they suffer from
like any sports athlete? You can look at them and think, God, you know, and especially the ones that have made it and probably earned big money. They've got it all going on and stuff like that. But then you hear them talk, and they're like, oh my God, I was in bits mentally, you know, like or trying to keep it together, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I would definitely put it down to communication, I think.
I like definitely. That. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It is a delicate balance, though, isn't it? Trying to raise boys today to be both communicable with us, but then also to maintain a level of like bravado.
Yeah, bravado.
You know?
No, I'd be like that. I don't want to totally take all the, you know, like the masculinity away from them, you know, because they're boys, you know, but you're trying to bring them up right. You know, they know they've been, I would say I bring them up right. They know the right way to behave. They know the right way to talk to their mother, you know, like it is, you know, yes, there has to be, you know, a stern word here and there, a correction along the way of like keeping them on the right path. But again, it's being being present, and I think that's the hardest thing. But nowadays is with, you know, people are at work, aren't they? Like, you know, if I, you know, husbands at work, wives at work, you know, like, you know, it's being you know, you've got to be present. You've got to be present for your kids, and it's the one thing I would say. God, we're going off on the deep end here, but like that was
conversation.
I love it.
But that's the thing that I would say. You know, you as a parent, you beat yourself up about. Is like, are you being present enough?
Yes.
Right. Let me throw it back to karate, but in the same realm, and see what you guys think about this. And I promise it'll be my last question. But is there any talk over there about CTE in karate?
Oh, the CTE? No. So that's like the brain, like brain damage, isn't it? No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh wow.
No.
No, talk
okay.
about it. No.
I mean, you'll get the odd occasion, you know, like we've had a guest on says, oh, you know, I've been punched in the head a few times, you know, like,
But I'm okay though. Yeah.
No, and it's funny you say that, because how many... Yeah, I mean, okay, I'm quite tall. I have still been punched and kicked in the face like a few times.
Right.
But yeah, you know, like how many is one too many? Is one too many? I don't, you know, like I don't.
That's it, isn't it?
I don't know. You know, it's funny. I've never thought about it with karate, but you see it. I remember I've seen the films and some of the documentaries about obviously in like. Obviously, you guys call it football, not our football, but you're
right.
So,
American football.
Yeah. It's definitely football. It's not soccer. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to die on that hill. Is it a thing that's been talked about in the States?
Well, yeah, it is, because it's interesting. Though the ones in our organization that are my age that have been here the whole time, after tournaments, we'll go out to eat, or we'll have, you know, drinks or something or whatever. And they'll make jokes about, hey, do you remember this? And somebody will say, no, man, I've been hit in the head too many times, or no, I don't, joking about it. But at the same time, when you start having those real conversations, they do start talking about, my memory's not how it should be. And I do feel, kind of spacey sometimes and whatever. And so when we started kind of putting numbers to it, and this was just a group of friends talking, we started putting numbers to it. My son, he had a concussion a couple of years ago in soccer. He had one in basketball. And then he got one more in basketball this past year. And so, of course, I take him, to being a mom, I take him to the doctor, and the coaches are like, don't take him. They're not going to let him play for a couple of weeks, Well,
yeah, sorry.
Got to protect him. So we took him this third one, we took him to the doctor. The doctor was like, if he has one more concussion, he's out of sports. I can't allow him to play sports anymore. Wow. And I thought, now let's talk about tournaments, because I know in tournaments that I've been hit 4 times in one tournament that were pretty good knocks, and that happens, And look, I'm an advocate for karate, and I always will be. I think I'm more just like asking your opinion on, how do you think in the future that's going to go? Is it looking like it's an issue over there? Because I have a feeling that over here it might start changing.
I mean, I've never been concussed like in a kumite fight or anything like that.
Nice.
So like, not to my knowledge anyway. I mean, I've took a good shots, but
not that you remember.
Not that I remember. No.
Exactly.
Who am I? No, I definitely remember being concussed as a child, but I was falling down some stairs and like whacked my head like pretty hard and couldn't see right. Actually, twice now it's come to mind. So maybe my memory is there. But both times was like just being stupid and literally hit my head hard on the floor. And but during karate, I would say like no, it's never been a thing. I mean, I think that comes down to look, it's going to happen. It's definitely, in my opinion, would be like, if someone is concussed, can't continue. Like, how can you if they're concussed, like, how could you let them continue at all? That'd just be totally irresponsible, really.
Yeah, duty of care, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously, again, if you've been concussed, go and get checked out.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Right.
How is it going to change? I've just not even. I've not heard anything like even like from like judging and refereeing or anything like that been mentioned. So, I suppose it's.
Yeah.
I just think when you start getting to say things like I was talking about earlier, when the veterans it always gets a bit wild, or like when if you're talking like maybe from from maybe like the age of 14, 16 onwards, when you're getting up into the senior categories. That's where that's where your really good, experienced referees and judges come into play. Yeah, where if there's any like loss of control, they've got to be on that like a rash and just.
Yeah. I agree.
Not on this map. Not on this map, mate. I'm sorry.
No, just
so there is that. I mean, again, good. You can't beat good, strong judging refereeing so people know the score. But again, I'm always it's like with mitts. I was never a big advocate of mitts. Again, I kept coming to the era of where you didn't really have to wear mitts like when I was growing up. I think sometimes that having the mitts gives you like that extra bit of like sense of false security, really, of like, oh, I can hit them that little bit harder.
Yeah.
So they feel it. So they feel it, like so.
Right.
Or you feel
I
it, really.
Point. I need the head to go
down. You need to see that.
Distinguishable point, isn't it? Yeah.
And then that sort of old school like side of me is like, that's what you want to see. You want to see the a bit of. A little bit extra, but it's
part of it though. That's our sport, right?
Yeah. So I've certainly in the UK, I've not heard any mention of it. So it certainly will be interesting to see if that is something that starts to become a vocal issue.
Yeah, I think because potentially, I could be totally wrong on this, it's not quite as well known in the UK in terms of karate. It's like
in rugby it is.
Yeah,
I know, like in rugby, if the kid is like, if the kid has a knock on the head, they're off. Like now,
exactly.
They especially. Yeah, they don't mess about now, like in rugby, where they're just again like American, like American football, where they're just again going in full steam with the headgear on and everything. Again, that helmet, false sense of security, like of thinking that you can charge in there because you've got the helmet on. The brain still gets rattled around, doesn't it?
Oh, right. Have you guys ever tried one of those football helmets on?
No, but like I think I've seen one, like in it.
They're not, unless there's something greatly different, and they could be in the professional football than high school, but I've put a high school helmet on before, and that sucker does not feel like it would protect at all. I'd rather wear our karate helmets than that.
See, I've seen a fair few of those in some competitions, like the karate helmets. I've never worn. I suppose once, I don't know, maybe I was close to being concussed, but I sort of went in, we got tangled, a kick to the head, the fight was stopped.
Well, when you concuss, you certainly won't forget it. It's not very nice. Well, you might forget it. That's the problem. Like, you might actually forget it.
I took the medical advice. I went and got myself checked out. I was all because it was a head injury. So and here I am.
I think time will tell. I think time will tell where the issue of CTE goes for sure. Where do you see yourself, in the future, Sensei? Like with karate, do you think the sixth Dan will come around? Where do you see yourself like being involved with either coach anymore? Do you think you'll be involved with coaching anymore, or do you just think you'll be on your, on your path?
I think in my dream scenario, what I would really love to have happen, I'd like to get my sixth. Would love to test for seventh as well, and still be able-bodied enough to test and continue testing. And as far as a dojo again, I don't know that I want to do that again. Right now, my mind says not yet.
People don't say there's a lot of work getting a dojo off the ground.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I think what I would really love to do more is be the coach for the U.S. women's team. That in my dream scenario, it would be to continue coaching and being a part of the team kata. Just that part.
Teaching internationally, Sensei, at all? Just throwing that out there. I know a small dojo actually where it would actually be fantastic. I just.
No, I love to. I love doing any type of trainings, Zoom.
Yeah.
If need be, if it comes down to it, then I'll definitely do Zooms. But I'm always up for traveling and doing training camps, because it's not just about I don't ever feel like it's me going to teach. I feel like it's me going to join another group of people where we get to share ideas.
Okay, yeah.
Which is fun.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like. That's how it should be. I think it's just there going and passing on. Is it for you guys like out there? Is there? So what I have found is like in some associations, not all, but in some, like the younger generation, like obviously you've got the older generation, they've got the place, definitely they are needed. I'm not advocating for not having them, but like sometimes the younger generation, I feel like they're not promoted like as much, because eventually they probably will be the future. But, I feel sometimes like the younger generation aren't given the chance to like, basically go out and teach more, maybe. I don't know if that's a thing over there.
So it's a very interesting point. I think where I train in Miami, I have to pick on that dojo. Where I train in Miami, the instructor is amazing. And right now, it just happens to be a very strong core group of guys that are ages 15 to 18. And there's like 15 of them.
Okay.
Right.
And every one of them are very strong and very, very good. But when you go to maybe other tournaments or other dojos and you see other kids that age, they're not even close to maybe a level that you've seen before. It's so, I think you have to be very selective in who you pick. I think that person has to be very, very mature. They have to be humble. They have to know what they're talking about. So it does get difficult to let them actually teach. Where I think we've done a good job is we use them as demos, as demonstrators. And so the instructor will teach and then say, this is good technique. This is how you do it. Watch how, this person does this. And that's kind of how they get their clout.
Yeah.
But, no, they don't do much teaching around here until, it's just 6 Dan and up to do most of the teaching.
Most of the teaching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's that's the, like I say, it is the way. I mean, like, I think I'd put like the my sort of like counter argument there is that, when you again, if you're using people like for demonstration, showing like, look, that's how it should be done. But it's there like when you're young and you're in that prime of maybe like competition age and it's everything sharp, if it's kata and kumite, then, maybe giving them like that chance to, to teach at that like young age, that would always be like just my,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good point, because maybe they can actually give that, like Sensei Hideyama does, they can give that, that key on how are you stepping so fast?
Yes.
What are you do? What's your thought process, and what's the muscle you're using to step that fast? And maybe the ones that are stepping fastest, who needs to teach it?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
Again, leading by example, maybe.
Yeah.
Right, Sensei. Well, I think we've recorded for quite some time. I'm going to pass you over to Andy, who's got his little questions for you. So
okay.
I'm
ready.
Okay. Oh wow! All right, I better get really good. So you sort of talked about this earlier. Favorite kata? You still going with the original answer, or?
Yeah, I think Sochin. Yeah. Sochin for right now at this stage of my life, it's short. There's not a lot of kicks, and those stances are pretty easy for me. So that's the one.
Fair enough. Do you have a favorite kata for bunkai at all?
That would definitely be. Yeah, either Basadai or Kankudai. I feel comfortable with both of those. They're kind of our familial katas. Everybody in my family competed with those two for years and years, and so I don't think I can be stomped on the bunkai on those. Any other kata? No clue. No clue. I've studied these very, very hard.
Favorite technique to use in kumite?
Front leg side kick.
Front leg side kick. Nice.
That's good.
Thought we might have an outlandish like spinning your rack in there, or something. spinning your rack in there, or something.
I like to keep my distance. Like, my brother did it amazingly, and everybody knew that he was going to do it, but even still he scored with it every single time. He always fought in a back stance, and he could do that skipping in side kick. Mine is more like wait until they come in and attack and just pick the leg up and let it be there.
Nice.
Yeah, it doesn't always work, but it's my favorite.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. Best male competitor, or could be someone from the past or future.
Yeah. So
best male competitor.
Best male competitor.
Well, that's a trick question, right? I have to say my brother because he does, and I say somebody else, then I'm in big trouble, right?
Maybe.
Sensei Makami. I think, I gotta stick with the bread and butter. Sensei Makami and my brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best female competitor.
Oh, wow. That's a tough one. I think for me right now, my mama side, obviously I have to my mama's side. Sensei Hideyama, I think, is a very, very fierce competitor. But I think for me, it's Sensei Miki Nakamachi.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She. Wow. I think she has 4 kids now, and she's done 2 All Japans and made it to the finals in kata while pregnant.
I saw that. Yeah.
That for women is huge. Talking
Massively.
about women in karate, it's huge for us to see that that you can be appreciated at any stage that you're in, whether you're completely fit, whether you're pregnant, or whether you're postpartum. You're still, your karate is your karate.
Yeah, definitely.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So if you could pick a 5-person kumite team, who would be on that team?
Oh my goodness. For females?
Whoever you want.
You can have it mixed, Sensei. It doesn't matter. It could be a mixed team. Doesn't matter.
It's your team.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I would go with Sensei Kobayashi.
Yeah.
Naka Sensei. Oh gosh, what was his name? We did a camp with him. He was so amazing. He's a younger guy who left JKA.
Was it Imura? No.
Imura.
Imura.
Yep.
He
amazing.
He the World Championships I went to. I think he won it that year. Yeah, it was lightning.
Yes. Lightning fast.
That's 3.
That's 3. Okay. Nemoto, of course, Sensei Nemoto.
One of my favorites.
And my brother.
Okay, good.
To me,
he's going to love
to me, he is that good. I have to go with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
3-person kata team.
Me, Grace, and Sammy.
There you go. There you go.
That's my dream team.
Yeah. Fair enough. Your greatest karate achievement, if you could pick one.
Yeah, it's the Pan American for sure. No. The greatest achievement was the Pan American, winning the Pan American. The greatest moment was stepping out on the finals mat at the Shotokan in 24. That was amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So the instructor who's had the long-lasting effect on you?
Sensei Mikami, by far.
Okay. And back when you had a dojo, was there a particular student who made you laugh?
Who made me laugh?
Yeah.
My son.
Your son.
My son. He drove me crazy.
Yeah.
But he was funny. He was comical, and I would call him out to be the demo.
Yeah.
And as good as he was, every single time he'd do it wrong, and I was like, "Oh, get back in line. Let me call somebody else out." And then I had Valeria. She was from South America. As a little girl, at the time I had her, she was maybe 8 to 12 was the age range, and she was everything. She was everything you would want your girl student to be. She tried really hard. She kept the boys in line. She was also athletic, so she looked really good doing karate. So yeah, shout out to Valeria.
Cool. The hardest grading. What would you say?
Your hardest grading.
Your hardest grading.
Oh, that purple to brown belt.
The one I failed.
I will say that this last one was unbelievable because it was the president. And then my third, my sandan, the lady that I fought was very heavy fisted, and I had this ponytail with braids going down, and she would hit me. I don't know. And part of it's like, how did I let her hit me so many times? But she got in there, and every time she'd hit me, I'd go flying back, and my braids would do this big whip. And so it was this real big dramatic, like, my God, she really is taking my head off. And so finally when they stopped the match, they stopped it, and they were like, you failed to her because her contact was a little excessive. But at the same time, to me, it was like, why did you not block all that? What were you doing? So I've had several tough tests.
Fair enough. Tea or coffee before training?
Tea, always.
Tea? Oh, okay.
Always tea.
Do you have a favorite post-training meal at all?
A favorite training mate?
Post-meal
So the
butcher
meal.
did, yeah.
Oh, meal. Yeah. You know, anything protein. Anything protein, okay. Whether it's eggs or a steak or sushi, anything like that. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Absolutely.
And finally, if you weren't a karate sensei, what do you think you'd be doing?
I'd be lost.
Wouldn't we all? We'd all be lost.
I would be. Yeah. I would be. Yeah. I would be lost. Like I said,
cut me a bit deep that one.
That was like, yeah, proper like, oh, yeah.
Hit you in the feels with that one, didn't I? Yeah, it's you know, like I said, for me, it's purpose and it's family and it's everything. And so I would probably be, I would probably be in CrossFit or, you know, something else that I could compete in and do at this age. I don't know. But I wouldn't have picked a different path, and I wouldn't have changed when I quit. I wouldn't have changed when I came back. Like it's all been God's plan, how it was supposed to be, and just see what He has in store for us going forward, right?
Yeah.
Well, just want to thank you. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you. I'm sorry we've kept you quite some time.
That's okay. Well. This has been so much fun with you guys. It's been a blast.
Yeah, no, I really
enjoyed getting to know you.
Yeah, no, it's really appreciative.